And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching and/or listening to ABL Live. Thank y'all for joining me tonight. You could be almost anywhere in the world, but you're right here with me live on the show, and I appreciate y'all for that. We got a whole lot going on all over the internet, all over mainstream media, social media, everywhere, and I don't know where to start. First of all, we have an update on the New York City criminal aliens who attacked the police officers in Times Square. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, Fani Willis, the ongoing drama, the drama that never ends, the drama that's a gift that keeps on giving. She has admitted to the romantic relationship between her and Nathan Wade. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the homeless man in Boston, Massachusetts, who went ballistic over the issue of migrants taking over a community center. You know, it's crazy because the community center was named after a prominent black woman from the Roxbury neighborhood who was heavily involved in civil rights, and it's located on MLK Drive. But rather than the people who live in the area being able to use the rec center, it's now being commandeered by illegal aliens. We'll talk about that a little bit more a little bit later. Also, the son of an Israeli consul who may have some powers as a diplomat was not given diplomatic immunity after he hit a police officer with his motorcycle, and the mugshot with the crying and the scrunched up face, I'm not really buying too much. We'll talk about all those things and a whole lot more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all again for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. If you like what you're hearing so far, if you enjoy the content in general, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. We got a whole lot to talk about. There's quite a few videos that I've not shown on tonight's live that I've not shown throughout the week. So we got a whole lot going on. Shout out to you guys for being here. We got a lot to get through, but first things first, y'all know how I do. Shout out to the sponsors as always. Shout out to patriotpost.us, your best source of news and information anywhere on these interwebs. Their link will be in the box. You can also just type in patriotpost.us in your browser, tell them that ABL sent you. Also, go to my merch website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. We got the hats, t-shirts, stickers, hoodies, mugs, and more right there on the website, ablmerch.com. That is ablmerch.com. Also, go to my regular website, anthonyblogan.com. That is ANTHONY, the letter B, LOGAN.com. Go to the front page of the website, and I have articles for each video that I produce. And in each article, I have sources from the left, right, independent, local, national, international. I got whatever you want. Full videos, uncensored clips, anything that's legal, I will post on my website. They can't tell me to censor myself because that's my website. I run it. Anyway, AnthonyBLogan.com. That is your source for all of the goings on with every video that I produce on the front page of the website. Also, go to my contact page. That's AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. There, you can find my email address, my snail mail address, my social media accounts, my Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, not going to call it X. All those links will be right there on the contact page, AnthonyBLogan.com/contact. Also, if you're ever wondering if you're speaking to me or not on the interwebs, just go to the contact page and cross-reference. My email is really simple. It's contact@AnthonyBLogan.com. And I do read you guys' emails. I get a lot of email. If I don't respond, it's okay because I do read you guys' emails. So shout out to you guys sending me emails, sending me tips, not spamming me. If you're sending me 15 emails every day, then you might go ahead and get blocked. But if you send me email occasionally, I will read it. So thank you for doing that. I really appreciate it. But I also get emails aside from the tips and the thank yous and whatnot. I get some emails that say, hey, man, I trusted you. I sent you X amount of money and you scammed me, all this and that and the third. Look, I'm not going to ask you to send me money on some kind of random janky email address talking about I can help you invest in some kind of Bitcoin foreign exchange, Forex. I don't know anything about that. So if someone who looks like me with my picture, with my name or a name that looks like mine is talking at you about that on the interwebs, I can pretty much guarantee you that it's not me. So let's not do that. Don't get scammed. This is 2024. This is an election year. We're trying to get the old man up out of there. We're trying to get the crypt keeper out of the White House. So we don't have time to get scammed off our hard-earned American US dollars. All right. If you are speaking to a person in the comment section of one of my videos that you think is me, and they're talking about send me some money to invest in this, that, and the third, it's going to be a Nigerian dude in a 25 square foot hovel with 100 other dudes, bald head. Okay, it's 100 degrees. They're sweating bullets in the hovel in Lagos. All right. Or it's going to be a Lithuanian dude in his his house, his little block, whatever you want to call it over there in Lithuania. He's going to be weighing 31,800 pounds. They're going to need a cherry picker and a crane and a jaws of life to get him out of his living room. That's going to be the guy that's scamming you on their cell phone or on a laptop computer. And we don't have time for that because we're all about advancing forward and keeping all of our money. That includes from scammers, from the federales, from the bill man, from whoever. We want to keep all of our money or as much as possible. So again, if you're ever wondering if you're speaking to me or not, please cross-reference your contact method on my website because that ain't going to change. Okay. Nobody's going to have an email address at my website. Nobody can have XYZ at anthonyblogan.com because I own that. That's mine. Nobody else. All right. So we got a whole lot going on. Hey, Spencer T, shout out to the Nigerians. Shout out to the Lithuanians. It's funny. You know, people, they people see one thing and don't see the other. But shout out to everybody who is not a scammer. I appreciate you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. Hey, Charlie Church, man, he got to be big because that's what he do all day. All he does all day is lay on the ground and scam. He's getting DoorDash or whatever the equivalent of DoorDash is in Lithuania. He's getting borched 18 times a day, sent right to his front doorstep. And they done put chicken and shrimp and all kind of stuff on the side. He's guzzling down sodas, candy, all kind of stuff all day long. While in between his feeding sessions, what he's doing is going on people's YouTube pages, trolling and trying to get you to send him some money, talking about, oh, I couldn't invest it in Bitcoin, all this and that and the third. Well, what he's investing is into his ever increasing waistline. That's what he's investing into, not to Bitcoin or foreign exchange. All righty. So we got a whole lot going on, and shout out to you guys. You guys are the best. Now, I want to start with a good video from your main man, Donald Trump. Let's get a little bit of sound right here. This is Trump autographing a big piece of farm equipment. I'm not quite sure what this is. This might be one of those harvesters. If you guys who are more educated about this know what this is specifically, y'all let me know in the comments.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Love it. Nice.
What you have right here.
Biden can do that? I don't think. I don't think he can.
So what you have right here is Trump autographing the farm equipment.
Thank you so much.
It's a combine. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
That is some piece of equipment, huh? I love this stuff.
Sure. Thank you.
Do you let them roam now without a person,
Not quite. Not quite.
They're close, right?
They're close. Very close.
You
Yep.
still need somebody else.
Still need some.
Now, these are going to be people in the middle of America, the heart of America, to provide the food. These are going to be the people that make the country operate. The country very much still loves Donald Trump. Very much. Okay. Regardless of what they want to tell you on television, newspapers, social media, whatever, the country very much still loves Donald Trump. Joe Biden on the other hand, I think not. So shout out to Trump for signing the equipment. Good on him. And we're going to see a lot more of that as time progresses. And you know what? One thing about Trump is that they don't want him to be out there doing stuff like this. Let me go ahead and just have it in the background. They don't want him doing stuff like this because they got him in court. See, that's the whole thing with the court action. Rather than being out here speaking to people, going to wherever they are all over the country, connecting with people on a personal level, rather than him being able to do that, they want him to be in court fighting these baseless accusations from E. Jean Carroll, who is a whole nut job, and all these other people. Your Fani Willis of the world. Fani Willis just trying to make a name for herself, right? And trying to bring Trump down as just a casualty of her trying to come up. And we're going to get more into Fani Willis, and I think someone else has gotten a little bit more into her, no pun intended, but we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. So shout out to Trump for being out there as a man of the people. Now, I got a good comedy set from this young man. If you guys know who this young man is, he's 14 years old with a great comedy set. If you guys know who this young man is, y'all let me know, but we got to check it out. This is good old-fashioned, wholesome comedy. Some may call it a little bit edgy, but not really. I think it's age appropriate. People might get offended, but don't get offended. It's really good comedy. And if you're not, if nobody's ever offended at comedy, then it's not really comedy. Comedy can't be great without ever offending at least one person. All right, let's check it out. Shout out to the young man with the great set. All right, let's get some sound. That might help. All righty. And let's rock.
My parents are pretty old. They're in their 40s now. Yeah, they're always telling me how easy I have it. They're like, oh, your generation's great. You don't know how hard it was to be a kid when we were kids. Why can't you be more like we were? Maybe because most of the crap you did when you were kids is illegal now. I cannot walk to 7-Eleven and buy my grandparents cigarettes. I am not allowed to hitchhike. I can't drink from a garden hose. I can't play with lawn darts, which were banned in 1988. I have my own set of challenges. When I ride my bike, I have to wear half a bowling ball on my head, because safety's a thing now. I didn't have an iPhone my whole life, you know. For many years, I had to use a flip phone. You had to press a button 3 times to type the letter C. A sip of my water. When my parents were kids, when they left the house, it was just, all right, see ya, be back by dark, don't get abducted, molested, or eaten, and have fun. But if I want to go anywhere, I have to carry a whistle and a binder of all nearby registered sex offenders. And it's really thick, lots of gym teachers and priests. I'm kidding. Guys, that was just a joke. The priests aren't registered. Just relocated.
So there we go. Shout out to the young man. I don't know this young man's name, but he's 14 years old with an amazing comedy set. That right there hit all of the points. Very well executed. Now imagine what he's going to do when he gets to be an adult and can really just go out there and just let loose. Very, very good set and very, very knowledgeable. The priests and the gym teachers, right on point. Now, some might get offended at that last little line right there, but was it false? Did he lie? Was it funny? I believe it was pretty funny. I believe that it was right on point. All right. Now, that young man, 14 years old. Now we're going to go to a few adults who have a little bit of a different view of the world. Okay. I think maybe they think they're funny, but they're not going to be anywhere near as funny as a young man who is more rooted in reality than these fully grown adults. All right. So let's check it out here. This is about Black History Month. You know, we got that going on. And Black History Month, shout out to it. I'm not necessarily a hater of the month. It is what it is. It's just kind of like whatever. But I think what happens is the corporations go a little bit too above and beyond. I want to bring you guys back to a moment in time. Just a moment in time. I want to bring you guys back. because I think it's pretty. Hold on, give me a second here. I got a picture that I want to show you guys just to show you how cringe they can get. Now, remember this? I think this might have been after George Floyd, right around that time. This country was in a full-on just tizzy after George Floyd had died. But this is the kind of thing that they do for Black History Month. Remember Nancy Pelosi with the kente cloth? And I forget who else was in this picture. I think Chuck Schumer was here. And they're kneeling. They're kneeling on the ground. I think these are a bunch of Democrats. They're kneeling on the ground wearing the kente cloth scarf. Now, can I just briefly speak about the kente cloth briefly? A lot of you guys already know. Hold on. Sapphire P says Dylan Roach 14. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. I appreciate you. But back to this picture right here. Now, the kente cloth, first of all, it's the most stereotypical piece of attire that Black Americans or Americans in general wear to connect to Africans as a general idea. Okay. It's so stereotypical. Like, I've spoken to Africans, like actual people from Africa, and they say whenever they see the kente cloth, they cringe because they know kind of what it is. It's like, and it's like an American wearing a feather hat for Halloween and saying, "Yeah, I'm down with the natives." It's like, okay. Anyway, but the kente cloth specifically comes from the Asante tribe of Ghana, or in that particular area. Now, these were actual slave traders. Okay, they wore the kente cloth. So when you see in the kente cloth, what you're seeing is a representation of those who actually sold slaves to Europeans and Arabs and other Africans as well. But mostly Europeans on the boat, and then to Arabs when you're going up to Timbuktu and then across the Sahara Desert to the Ottoman Empire, things of this nature. Okay, so yeah, shout out to the African slave traders under the Asante that wore this exact same pattern of attire. If you didn't know, now you know, but I digress. Now, let's get back to Black history. This is something right here. This person says, this is a doctor. Doctor calls on white men to show they're dedicated to equity by donating part of their salary to Black women for Black History Month. Alrighty, let's check it out.
Hey, white men. Due to systemic and structural racism that Black women have had to endure, they only make 64 cents to every dollar that you...
Wait a minute. Okay, I'm going to start from the beginning, but I had to kind of like go back to a comment. Duels, you're hilarious. Duel says, it's the African booty scratcher cloth. I'm done. I am finished. Hey, hilarious. That right there, you should get 5 gold stars for that comment. But let's start from the top, from this fully grown adult woman with gray hair and everything else with this ridiculous statement.
Hey, white men. Due to systemic and structural racism that Black women have had to endure, they only make 64 cents to every dollar that you make. So, as a fitting start to Black History Month, I want to take what you will make today, multiply it by 64%, and then take that difference and give it to some Black women today. This show
is that how the math works? Is that girl math? Is that is that Black History Month math? I'm not quite sure that's how that works. Multiply it by 64%. Am I tripping? Because I thought she said that Black women make 64 cents to each dollar that a white man makes. So are you going to make up the difference by multiplying? Okay, whatever.
Shows that you are honoring them, that you are appreciating them, and that you are dedicated to equity. And Black women, you know what to do. Hey, white men.
Okay, okie dokie. But can I say something right quick? Now, maybe the math part kind of escaped me. I think maybe she was kind of going around the elbow to get to somewhere else. You know, it was the easy way to do that. But can we talk about this whole gender pay gap thing? Now, the gender pay gap may exist, but first of all, it's not really a racial thing because there's also a gender pay gap between white men and white women and Black men and Black women. Every single race has a gender pay gap in it in America. Hispanic men, Hispanic women, Black men, Like, and the men always make more, always. Whether it be by a lot or a little, the men always make more. And the reason for that is because we work more hours. We tend to be more ambitious. We just go hard. We're just worker bees. You know, women like to go do more traveling and having more leisure. And also, of course, women have children. So you got to have time away from for being pregnant, maternity leave. Men don't have that. Men can just go full speed ahead and always work. We don't have time in a month. We're always on, always on. And we're expected to be always on. So we're always going to make more money because of physical differences, societal differences. It just is what it is. So yes, there's a gender pay gap and it exists, but it's not because of racism or sexism or anything like that. It's just the way that we are. It's as simple as that. It's not really a thing. There's also a gender gap when you're talking about the amount of dates somebody would get or be approached with. Women, regardless of how they look, they could be £1 million. It doesn't matter. They're always going to be approached more romantically than men will be. That's just what it is. Fair, not fair, it doesn't matter. It is what it is. Okay, that's like saying it's hot in the desert. Yeah, it does get hot in the desert. That's just what it is. It's the desert. It gets hot. Okay, but I digress. So yeah, I don't think that's a really good idea. The Common Core math, I'm not feeling. That's probably the reason why you don't make as much as what you want to make. All right. Bina says she only gets 18% because she's mixed. Hilarious. You guys are the funniest. Okay, y'all say I'm funny sometimes. You guys are killing me all the time with the jokes. Hilarious. All right. Now, here we have a white TikToker, and the race matters in a minute. You'll see it. But they are saying something that's kind of offensive. Let's see what is being said. And let's check it out.
Hi, fellow white people. Black History Month is tomorrow. Let's not do anything to ruin it this year. Okay, my fellow milk crickets? We're gonna
Milk crickets, is that a thing? I've never heard that in my life. I think that's pretty offensive. I never heard that in my life. Like, what is that though?
gonna be good this year. Yes, we are. And if we are, maybe you'll get a prize. But you have to be good. You can't ruin Black History Month this year. Okay? Thank you, my babies.
Is this parody? Like, what am I seeing? So she's saying that white people ruin Black History Month. Is that a thing that happens? How does one ruin a month? I don't really understand. I don't get it. But this is the kind of garbage you're going to see on TikTok. You know, and again, I've called TikTok the Antichrist for quite a long time, and I think that I could be right. I saw some, it might have been the Senate hearing where they were talking about TikTok, and they had the CEO of TikTok, at least over here in America, a guy from Singapore. And people were saying that it was racist to ask the Singaporean if he was Chinese and if he had ties to the Chinese Communist Party. But how was it a racist thing when 75% of Singapore are ethnic Chinese? And Singapore only became an independent state in 1965. And he was the CEO of another Chinese company before he became CEO of TikTok. So why would it be racist to ask that question? Matter of fact, hold on, let me see if I can find that right quick. And if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all of that good stuff. That will help me out tremendously. But yeah, it's a good question. People talking about, oh, well, it's a lot of European ancestry people here in America. Would you ask someone if they are, if they're from England or Spain? It's like, come on. If this was the 1700s, it'd make sense to ask if somebody came from Europe recently. They probably did. Singapore only became a state in the 60s. It was before that, it was a city in Malaysia, kind of like the way Hong Kong is. So yeah, it makes sense to ask if somebody is Chinese. And he is Chinese, by the way. So it wasn't really a thing that was offensive. Here we are. This is on NBC News. This is Senator Tom Cotton asking about what's going on. All right, let's roll it right here.
Of what nation are you a citizen?
Singapore.
Are you a citizen of any other nation?
No, Senator.
Have you ever applied for Chinese citizenship?
Senator, I served my nation
I'm
in
asking-
Singapore. No, I did not.
Do you have a Singaporean passport?
Yes, and I served my military for two and a half years in Singapore.
Do you have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen. Your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
His wife is Taiwanese, by the way. Like, he's Chinese. Like, why we gotta play games? I'm sure he speaks Mandarin fluently. So does his wife. Okay, so I don't really understand.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
And he has anchor babies. Did you hear that? He has anchor babies. Let's go back a little bit.
Yes, in
Do you
Singapore.
have any other passports from any other nations?
No, Senator.
Your wife is an American citizen. Your children are American citizens.
That's correct.
Have you ever applied for American citizenship?
No, not yet.
Okay. Have you ever been a member of the Chinese Communist Party?
Senator, I'm Singaporean. No.
Have you ever been associated or affiliated with the Chinese Communist Party?
No, Senator. Again, I'm
Okay.
Singaporean.
Let me ask you some, hopefully,
Like, the way this is strategic from this guy, Shou Chu. He's trying to say, I'm Singaporean. What do you mean? I'm not Chinese. Man, come on. Singapore ultimately is a city in Malaysia that became independent in the 60s. And it was heavily colonized by the Chinese. And there's always ethnic conflict between Chinese people like you and the ethnic Malay that are native to that particular part of the world.
simple questions. You said earlier, in response to a question, that what happened at Tiananmen Square in June of 1989 was a massive protest. Did anything else happen in Tiananmen Square?
Yes, I think it's well documented. There was a massacre.
There was
yeah.
the indiscriminate slaughter of hundreds or thousands of Chinese citizens.
Yeah, so that's what's going on. Now, somebody posted this right here, and they said, it's time to make, here's a caption. It's time to make all senators pass a basic world geography class. Talking about China is so far away, and Singapore is like right in Malaysia. But again, when you're talking about TikTok, any kind of Chinese company, they're going to be dominated by the government. They're going to have Chinese Communist Party members on the board of any company in China. So if you're ethnic Chinese from a place that's 75% Chinese, your wife is Chinese, and you were the CEO of a Chinese company before this Chinese company, I'm sure you speak fluent Mandarin. Why would it be a stretch to think that you may have ties to the Chinese Communist Party? And if you do have ties to the Chinese Communist Party, maybe TikTok is an app that's spreading damaging information, propaganda, or whatever to American citizens via the Chinese Communist Party. Would that be a stretch to say? Would it be a stretch to say? I'm just saying. But anyway, I'm Singaporean, so it don't matter. Yeah, I'm Singaporean. So nah, yeah, I'm Chinese. Yeah, I speak Chinese. Yeah, I know the Chinese Communist Party. Yeah, I go to China all the time. Yeah, I know all about the region. But I'm Singaporean, so it's fine. Anyway, let's keep on rocking and rolling. This is a clip, speaking about world politics, this is a clip from Canada. And this is about teachers. And it says the media is upset. Teachers won't be able to talk about sex all day, every day. Let's see what's going on here. Hopefully with PG-13. And somebody said relevance. Well, it's relevant because TikTok is an app that a lot of young adults are addicted to. And the content on the app in America or in the West in general is much different than what they get in China. And it's part of it's part of the Chinese Communist Party's attempt to overthrow us through these methods, through the opioids coming across the border, and also through the digital opiates on TikTok. They're feeding that to us to damage us. Now, on the Chinese version of TikTok called Douyin, that doesn't exist. There's no, it's all about positive stories and kids doing science experiments, and it's not the trash, the garbage that we get. So if you got a guy that's on the board who's Chinese, part of the Chinese Communist Party, and does the bidding of the Chinese Communist Party, of course he's going to allow garbage to proliferate the platform that we get as a way to hurt us as Americans and also as people in the West in general. You see how that works? The things that they allow on the Western version of TikTok would never be allowed in China officially. Okay. Let's check it out right here. This is over in Canada.
For my second question, I mean, I can already hear the school officials just dreading the paperwork required to opt every single student into every single lesson that touches on sex education, gender identity, and sexual orientation. I mean, some people might predict that teachers would now avoid those lessons to get around that extra work when they're already so busy. So can you explain why making it harder for children to learn about sexual health is a benefit?
Mm-hmm. So if you guys didn't catch the question or the concern is that in Canada, there's going to be opt-out forms for every class that parents do not want their kids to be involved in, like sex education. Now, we know what's going on with that in school, K through 12, in the U.S., Canada, all over the West. You have very graphic and inappropriate things being shown to young children. So parents are like, you know what? I don't want my child to be involved. I'm going to go ahead and opt out. Now, some parents are going to just take their kids out of school completely, but that's not always an option. Some parents don't have that option. Some parents can't homeschool. Some parents cannot afford to have the kids go to private school. And even in some of these private schools, you got some weird stuff going on. So the solution is, hey, let me opt out of these courses. And quite frankly, if I had the choice and I had one of these teachers that kind of was a little bit on the weird end of things, if you catch my drift, if the teacher was just crazy, you can talk, it could be a history class. I'm going to take my kids out of that history class if the teacher is more concerned with LGBTQ, elemental P, rather than the following the kingdom of Great Britain. If you're more concerned with the LGBT stuff rather than the actual course plan and the lesson, then I'm not going to have my kid in that class.
Well, I guess if teachers are indeed talking to kids about sex every single day, every day of the school year, then I guess that this policy has demonstrated why we need to put it in place.
Exactly. There you go. Exactly. And then the teacher said something else. The person asking the question, they were like, well, you know what? We might just want to avoid these things altogether. That's a fantastic idea. That is a great idea. Avoid the topic altogether. Don't even get involved with any of that. Just go ahead and move past it. That's a great idea. So yeah, shout out to the Canadians. Hopefully you guys up there in the great white north are able to get some things going on as far as getting the teachers out of really inappropriate conversations. We need the same thing over here in the U.S. nationwide. All right. Shout out to Most Mundane. Most Mundane says maybe we're garbage, ABL. Well, you know, I think that's not the case. I think some of us are garbage in America, but I think that a lot of us, especially the young people, are being influenced to be garbage. I said it before. Shout out to Anton Daniels. I was on his show the other day, and I was talking about this. I was saying a lot of these kids are being brainwashed from an early age. From K through 12, they started early, kindergarten, right away, LGBT, instantly. So they go from K through 12 and then to college, and then they're progressively getting worse and worse as far as indoctrination. And the parents, sometimes they don't know what's going on. Maybe the parents are crazy themselves, not even really present, or the parents are trying to fight back and it's a battle. And then even if the parents do fight back, the kids' friends are wrapped up in indoctrination. So by being around the friends, they're going to catch some of the brainwashing. It's a battle you got to fight. It's a really crazy battle. And I was saying that these kids, a lot of times, they grow up to be a certain way because they've been brainwashed from a young age. So I think part of the reason why we're trying to crack down on TikTok specifically is so the kids are not easily brainwashed by technology, by others who are also on technology. It's a thing. And now we got AI coming into existence. AI is already here. We're talking about what can we do to try to slow down AI's development. It's already here. There's no real way. We're trying to catch up. We're late. The regular human intelligence is not able to really understand what AI has already been doing. But I don't want to get too dark, too deep, so I digress. Now, here we have Sunny Hostin. Sunny Hostin from The View. Now, I don't know if she wants to be black, white, Puerto Rican, and candy stripe. I don't know what she wants to do. From one day, she's Asuncion Hostin. One day, she's a white woman. The next day, she black. The next day, she don't have no color. I don't know if she wants to be black, white, Puerto Rican and candy stripe. But anyway, she says that America is racist because her son kept getting called the N-word in Florida. Let's check it out.
Plenty of racist people in this country.
And there are absolutely
right.
racist people in this country. It is not the vast majority of people in this country. And I feel like
we don't know
the FBI director said white supremacy is the biggest threat to our country today.
Well, that still doesn't mean that that's the vast majority of people. I just don't believe that in my day-to-day life that the people that you're encountering harbor racist viewpoints. I do.
Okay, like before they even get into it, let's talk about this. Is America a racist place? No. Because what does that mean for America to be a racist place? You're talking about rules in the books. Now, there's some things when you're talking about affirmative action, DEI, they're trying to go back to a time of racism, and there's people actively fighting against it. But being racist would be like, okay, you can't buy a house unless you're white. That'd be a racist policy. But as far as I know, that's not really a thing. Now, just because there may be people that make racist comments does not mean that the country itself is racist. It means that that person is racist if they are racist. That's what that means. That means there's an issue with that particular individual, not the entire country. And you got to ask yourself, does the opinion of that person or a few people, does that ruin your ability to just go through your everyday life in this country? Is it a roadblock? Is it a true hindrance or a minor inconvenience at that time with that person?
Do you think that this division that we're creating?
If you look like me, you would believe differently.
But you know what, Alyssa, the woman.
But just to.
How does she look though? What does she really look like though? I can't tell what's going on. This is racially ambiguous at best. I don't know what's happening here.
Alyssa, the woman.
But just to understand, are we saying, do we think the vast majority of Americans are racist? That's what I'm trying to help me understand.
I think that there is a significant portion that are racist, and you can't dismiss my lived experience.
And I never would say. I would never dismiss
when I say that there are a lot of racists in this country, I just experienced my son walking down the beach being called the N-word several times in Florida. You can't say, I believe that the...
Okay, now can we get a little bit of context? Why was that happening? So your son just minding his business, walking down the beach with an ice cream cone or something like that. All of a sudden, N-word, N-word, N-word. Why? From where? From who? What was the reason? Okay, now I'm a beach boy. I grew up on the beach, from Virginia Beach, that area. Born in West Virginia, raised in Virginia Beach, that area. I used to go to the beach all the time. I've never just had somebody say, hey, N-word on the beach. I've never had anybody just say any kind of racial slur to me just out in the world, just random. I've never had that. Online, of course, you get that because you're going to have trolls, but not in the real world. So, okay, that's my lived experience. So, is my experience better or different in a way that makes more sense than hers? I mean, look, you got your own experience and that's fine, but you may have that experience. It doesn't mean that that's going to be the same way for everybody else. So, yeah, shout out to Asuncion Hostin, who is some kind of racially ambiguous Puerto Rican or something like that. Shout out to her. But yeah, we're not in a truly racist place. Now, you want to see real racism, you want to go over there. You want to go over there to another part of the country, another part of the world. Things are a little bit different. Things are a whole lot different over there. Okay. Now, to get to a more real world situation about tipping. Now, this video is pretty interesting. Tipping culture in the USA has kind of gotten out of control. And sometimes when there's an argument over a tip, I understand the argument. Sometimes I don't. For example, if I go to a restaurant and pick up food and there's no service, all you doing at that point is giving me a bag at the front and I'm leaving after I pay. I pay for my food, you give me the bag, I'm out the door. It's the same thing that would happen at a fast food joint, okay? I pull up to the window, pay for my order, you give me the bag of food, and I'm on my way. It's the same difference. Now, I've never in my whole life, almost 40 years of living, never have I ever tipped a fast food worker, ever. So why would I tip somebody at a restaurant that does the exact same action? Now, to be fair, to be a little bit hypocritical here, I will tip some restaurants like that because I might go there a lot. So I want them to kind of know me. So when they come in, it's like, okay, oh, that's him. He's going to be good. Let's make it right for him. But if I'm out of town, I'm just traveling, I'm probably not going to tip at a restaurant like that if I'm just picking up an order. But if I go there every week, that's something different because it's more about just wanting to look out for them. But it's not a requirement. Okay, it's circumstantial. But again, never have I ever tipped at a fast food joint. So you shouldn't be expected to tip in a situation like a restaurant, you pick up an order. But if you get served and all that kind of stuff, that's different. 100% you tip all the time. Now, if you get bad service, it's something else. If the waitress bringing you out food that's cold, dirty silverware, she's not checking on you, that's something different. But how about in the circumstance of DoorDash? I've never used DoorDash. I think I used DoorDash one time. I was in DC a long time ago, and then I said the story before. I'm gonna tell it again. So I'm in DC at one of these events, one of these political events. And I'm in the lobby in the morning, and this girl had some IHOP. I'm like, where you get the IHOP from? Is there an IHOP in here? She was like, nah, I did DoorDash. I'm like, what's DoorDash? I had no idea. I'm a caveman. I didn't have my full 100% no button smartphone until 2018, 2019. So I'm late to the party. I have no idea at this point what DoorDash is. And she put me on the game like, hey, it's an app you can use, and you can find restaurants locally you can order from, and then it'll be brought to you by somebody who's a DoorDasher. I had no idea what that was. So I tried it one time, but what I did was to test it. I got a Chick-fil-A sandwich, and then the girl just walked up to the hotel I was at and handed it to me. I'm like, man, I could have done that. Yeah. You know, all you did was just walk across the street and hand me a sandwich. Okay. Like, I only know, it might not even been in the bag. I feel like the sandwich was just in the wrapper with no bag on it. I'm like, that's kind of sketchy. That's a little sketchy. Did you bite a little bit of the sandwich? Did you take a little piece on the end to where I didn't notice, like, what's going on? But anyway, I digress. After that, I didn't use those apps anymore. But these apps are really widely used. And here's the video. What do you do in a situation? Who's right and who's wrong? Let's check it out. And RIP in advance to headphone users.
Do not interrupt me. And then coming over here driving on my dime to get your groceries and you don't give me a tip, that is not only unethical, but it's not only is it disturbing and unethical, but it's very wrong of you to think that way. You've got a mental screw up in your brain that doesn't work.
Now, I'm kind of feeling a little bit bad for that guy because obviously he's bringing groceries or whatever and he's not getting tipped. And I'm seeing his vehicle. He's got some kind of scrape on the back of it. So, you know, I'm just trying to make things happen and you're not giving me your tip. But let's keep on going.
It's very wrong of you to think that way. You've got a mental screw up in your brain that doesn't work.
Now, you know what? Shout out to one of you guys that said it was a production. I kind of thought that as well. I kind of thought that, but there's something here that makes me think that it's not a production. I think it might be real because as the video progresses, he's looking a certain way to where I'm thinking, okay, it's probably not a real, it's probably not a production, it's probably a real thing.
Work. And I'm not going to waste my time and breath with you. I'm going to cancel your order right now.
Okay.
Boom, canceled. And you're going to go pick up your own order. Right?
No, let's just get a different shot.
I mean,
okay?
So you're
you do whatever you have to do.
You're wasting your time.
He's literally wasted his time. Do you realize how dumb you sound? Okay? You sound dumb.
I'd like to find out how it would feel for you to go and do my job and deliver and then not get tipped. How would you feel if somebody didn't tip you, lady? Answer me. Answer me.
Well, you won't let me talk, so.
Here, why don't I slap some sense?
Wait a minute, sir. Now look, okay, I understand that you didn't get your money, or you didn't get your tip you thought you would get, but my man, now if you cross that threshold, you about to get stomped into wine. You're gonna be a whole glass of Merlot at the end of the night. So let's not do that. You can express your grievance over there. Express your grievance next to your banged up vehicle, but don't come past this threshold, okay?
Hey,
no, I'm
serious?
recording everything.
Yeah, we're recording everything.
You can record whatever
okay?
you want.
You're gonna
I really
lose
don't care.
your job. You're gonna lose your
You know what? At this point, I don't care. because I'm not going to do this. This doesn't work for me.
I put in the
let me tell you something else.
Accepted the bag.
Let me tell you something else, lady. You Swifty wannabe. You're the only customer that I have had that did not tip me.
I don't tip
I want you to know that.
I don't tip anybody.
Is that disturbing to you or what?
No, I just don't believe that we should give out free handouts.
Every single customer that I've been to has tipped me, and you're the only one that hasn't.
Okay, so do you think it's real? Do you think it's fake? Like, what's your opinion on it? And also about tipping door dashers. Do you think it's necessary? Do you think it's mandatory? Is it a thing that you do? Do you use these services? I don't use services like that. I mean, if you use it, it's a time saver, then hats off to you. Bravo. But personally, I don't, it's just me. So I'm not really getting a lot of stuff. I like to go shopping myself. I like to go to Costco and, go shop around and see what I want. And then sometimes you see things you don't necessarily know you need when you're out shopping. Sometimes you could spend money you shouldn't spend, but you also are able to see things that you need. You forgot you need it when you're out there. So I like to go out myself, but if you use services like that to save time, then go for it. But tipping wise, is necessary, not necessary, or whatever. A lot of you guys saying fake, fake, fake. It could be, but I'm not quite sure because this guy's look at his face though. I mean, if this guy is acting, then get this man an Oscar right now. Give him, all the celebrities they got at these award shows getting rewarded for lukewarm at best performances. All they are is people that get good cinematography, good camera work. But look at his face. My man got pure hatred in his eyes for this lady. Called her a Swiftie, wannabe, and all that good stuff. So if it's fake, then hey man, this guy needs to be in the movie today, playing the leading role because I'm convinced. I am convinced. So shout out to him. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Now, going back to the whole thing about race, this is an interesting one, and I've covered it before, but it was a different video. And if you ask people in the public, just regular normies, hey, if you can change your gender, then how about race? If you can change gender, then can you change race? Why not? I said it before. It's like, look, if I can be born as a man and then I can just become a woman, then why can't I be born as a white man and become a Puerto Rican man? I can identify a certain ethnicity. I've seen videos where you got white guys talking about they identify as a Korean woman. And then people say it's silly and it's ridiculous and it's bogus, but I'm like, why can't he do that? If you can identify as a whole different gender and compete against the women and go in a locker room, be with no clothes on, if you could do all that, then why not be a different race or ethnicity? You know what? I'm black, but now I identify as a Japanese man, okay? Or I'm Xi Jinping. Or matter of fact, rather than identifying as a different race specifically, I can identify as a different person of a different race. Okay, I'm ABL. I identify as Bill Gates. I'm going straight to the bank and making a deposit, and I'm making the withdrawal, no deposits. I want to withdraw $1 billion in cash. Now, if I do that, they're going to say identity theft and get me locked up. But if I can identify as whatever I want, then how can I steal someone's identity? How does that really work? I can identify as whatever I want, but yet if I take someone's identity, then that's a crime. Make it make sense. So let's watch this right here, and you're going to see these normies get completely stumped with this very basic question about race and gender. Check it out.
If you can change your gender, can you change your race?
No,
Why?
because that's just how you're born.
Isn't your gender how you're also just born?
Yeah, I see where you're getting with.
No, you can't change your race. Race is your roots, where you were born with from, ages ago. So I think
Isn't your gender what you're born with too?
that's true, but I think it's a different,
like the brain is not the brain is not computing. The brain was not prepared for that particular question. Gotcha. Yeah, the brain was not ready for that. The brain was not ready. And that is what you're going to get from most people. Either they're going to have a complete brain meltdown, a brain fart, or they're going to get violent with you. That's what they'll do. They'll get violent with you and want to fight because that's all they can do. They can't answer the question specifically. Yeah, 404 error. They have nothing. Completely stumped. Either they'll do that, completely just blank out and have nothing, or they want to fight because they don't have anything else. All right. But let's keep on going here. We got a whole lot happening. Now, this is an interesting video. Let's go talk about rap a little bit. This is Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg. And you guys know that Snoop has now given Trump his credit. And, you know, Snoop gave Trump his credit, but he didn't do it the way that I wanted. You guys know I did the video about Snoop, and he said that when asked about Trump and the 2024 election, he was like, hey, I got nothing but love and respect for Donald Trump. This is a complete 180 from back in 2017 when he had the music video where he was pretending to shoot Trump. And as a matter of fact, let me just show that right quick. I'm not going to play the actual music, but I'm going to show you what they actually did back then, if I can find it. Let me see. This is 2017. Yeah, they ain't going to let me find it, but that's fine. Or maybe they will. Maybe they won't. But anyway, in the video, he shot a clown of Trump, and he was hating Trump throughout the whole time. Here we go. This is a CNN video. Let's see if they show it. And I'm going to bring it on back home. It'll make sense in a minute. So this says Snoop Dogg shoots Trump in clown video. And it's called, okay, it's Lavender. So then you got Trump right there as a clown on TV. Again, this is a Snoop Dogg music video from back in 2017. He was a big time Trump hater when Trump became the president back then. But before Trump became president, they had no problems with each other. He went to a roast of Trump on Comedy Central. They shook hands, took pictures. It was all good back then, like in 2014, 2015. But then when Trump became president, all of a sudden it was a problem. So, and then you got him on TV as a clown called Ronald Clump. Remember this? And then here he is with his hands up speaking about Trump. And then there goes Snoop with the gun. And then he shoots him. And then rather than a bullet or anything like that, it says bang. So it's like a clown gun. So he goes from doing this to now saying, I got nothing but love and respect for Donald Trump. And the reason why he did that is because of two main things. The first thing is that Trump freed Harry O. Harry O was one of the founders of Death Row Records. Death Row is where Snoop got his start with Suge Knight and all them. And Harry O has been really tight with Snoop and Dre and Suge and the whole group over there. When Harry O came home, it was a big celebration. Dr. Dre, Snoop Dogg, Harry O. Harry O had been locked up for like 30 years. And he was not going to come home. He did like 30 years out of a 25 to life sentence. So he was not going to come home anytime soon. But Trump pardoned him when he left office. So he respects Trump for that. Also because Trump and Ray J, the rapper, also behind the Raycon earbuds. That's his company, Raycon, Ray J. Trump and Ray J have a relationship. They're cool. And Ray J is Snoop Dogg's cousin. Also, Ray J is Brandy's brother, the singer. So, also, Snoop is Nate Dogg's cousin, R.I.P. So you got your cousin in your ear who's also rich as you are, famous as you are, talking about, hey, Trump's not that bad. He's a good dude. That's my friend. And I'm sure that Ray J was part of the reason why Harry O got freed from the penitentiary. I'm sure. All right. So now all of a sudden, Snoop says, I got nothing but love and respect for Trump. But he did it in a written article on a London newspaper. I don't want to say it's obscure. I'm not trying to say their level of popularity is not really important. I'm just saying you could do that in the bigger way if you're Snoop Dogg. You could do it on television. You can make a rap song. The same way you made a rap song in 2017 about how much you hated Trump and you wanted to shoot him. Make a rap song right now about how much you like Trump and respect Trump and what he did for you and why. But you don't want to do that. Anyway, let's go back to Dre and Snoop in the 90s because I want to show how much this country has changed from then to now with the inflation and everything else. Then we're going to get to another rapper talking about Trump in a positive way. And this particular person, I think, has always been pretty much positive on Trump. All right. So first things first, let's go back to the old video. This is the early 90s in, I think, New York City or somewhere.
Wow. New York. Just like I pictured it. Skyscrapers. Everything.
So this is a 5-piece dinner for $3.99. Now, are you able to get that same 5-piece for that same price nowadays? I mean, the prices are crazy. How much would a 5-piece dinner at Popeye's Chicken cost you right now in 2024? You guys let me know.
Sweetheart. You see, Popeyes had this problem. You see, they're Popeyes and we're Popeyes, you know? So,
if I need it in the morning or the middle or the night.
It's a big misconception.
Look at these prices. Look, I mean, the prices.
No fruit punch, no orange?
Orange.
Yeah, let me get an orange.
I'm seeing things on the menu there like 89 cents, 99 cents. So hold on. So you're saying for the 5-piece, $16, $14?
Just break us off some food, dog.
To go, big baby. It's to go.
Hold on, there's something right there. I think it says 5-piece, 2 biscuits, and I can't see what else it says. It might be fries or something. I can't see. For $5.99. Look, I saw recently at Starbucks, they were selling the cookie for $4.50. $4. I was at McDonald's recently. Don't judge me. Recently, I was at McDonald's. I had a chicken biscuit and a hash brown, and that was the same price as this right here, about $5.99 plus tax.
You want something too, dog?
I want some food.
Sue says about $14 to $15 in Hawaii for the same thing that was at that time $4. It's crazy.
Because ain't no running good enough to get burnt while I'm up in it.
All right, so that's that. That's back in the early 90s, New York City, Popeyes, and that was New York. So imagine how cheaper it was in the rest of the country. Now, here is another rapper talking about Trump in a positive way, and I think this guy has always been positive on Trump. Somebody said Ben Shapiro. You know what's funny is that Ben Shapiro has not been positive on Trump at all, like ever. Not really. Ben Shapiro's been never a Trumper. That guy I'm going to show you right now has been more positive on Trump than Ben Shapiro, which is funny. Okay, anyway. So here is an article that 50 Cent reposted on his Instagram. The article says New York City launched a $53 million program to hand out prepaid credit cards to migrant families. And that's from yesterday, February 2nd, 2024. 50 Cent, you can't really see it right here. It's kind of small. But he says, WTF, Mayor Adams, call my phone. I don't understand how this works. Shrug emoji. Somebody explain. Ari Melber can explain this. Why can't explain this? I'm stuck. Maybe Trump is the answer. Okay? So he's saying this thing right here with the migrants giving out millions of dollars to migrants on prepaid debit cards isn't really a good thing. So he's against the migrant stuff, against them getting all this free money, free handouts at the expense of, because, you know, they're trying to cut stuff in New York City. They're trying to cut services in New York City to the regular civilians, regular citizens of the city, legal residents. They're cutting their services while giving all this cash to illegal aliens, straight cash money on a debit card, right? 50 Cent's like, hey, wait a minute, what's going on? Maybe Trump is the answer to this problem. So shout out Donald Trump and 50 Cent. Hopefully he gets his wish and we get Trump back in office, because whoever we got going on right now is not really working out too well. All righty, let's keep on rocking and rolling. Now, the border crisis is so bad, we have Dr. Phil on the border talking about how bad it is. Dr. Phil. Now, I never thought that I would see him on the border talking about how bad it is, but I think he's from Texas, so he may have people that are on the border that he knows personally, family members, friends, or whatever, and he's getting into it. Let's check it out.
Texas law enforcement has seized over 454 million lethal doses of fentanyl during this border mission. Governor Abbott has said that the federal government has broken the pact between the United States federal government and the states. Governor Abbott says President Biden has refused to enforce those laws and has even violated them. The result is a humanitarian crisis unlike anything we've seen before, smashing records for illegal immigration by wasting taxpayer dollars to tear open Texas border security infrastructure. Governor Abbott says President Biden has enticed tens of thousands of illegal immigrants away from 28 legal entry points along the Texas border and into the dangerous and deadly waters of the Rio Grande. According to the Department of Homeland Security, since President Biden took office, more than 6 million illegal immigrants have crossed Texas' southern border in just 3 years.
Okay, now I have so many questions. Why is Dr. Phil reading like a hostage? Is there a gun to your head, sir? Like, blink twice if you are okay. But aside from the reading, I wonder why, like, who is he reading for? Is it going to be for a show? Is it going to be a special on the show where they talking about what's happening with the border? I have a lot of questions, but for him to be down there, you know, it's pretty serious because I don't see this guy as a conservative person at all. You guys, if I'm wrong, you let me know. If he's conservative and I've been missing it, y'all let me know. But I wouldn't think this would be a thing that he would be fighting over. But again, I think he's from Texas and he may know people that are down there who are affected by the border crisis. So is that his backyard? Like for real, for real? Well, if that's his actual backyard where he lives, then it makes sense because you're going to experience it firsthand. Now, this is what the people in New York City are having to do with, right? They are talking about, or we're going to be a sanctuary city, we're going to be a sanctuary country, sanctuary state, or whatever. But they don't deal with the influx of migrants right on their front door every day until Governor Greg Abbott and other people started sending them to their backyards. Now, all of a sudden, it's a problem. Now, all of a sudden, you're feeling the effects. Now, all of a sudden, you got 50 Cent talking about, well, why are we doing this for these migrants? $50 million for the migrants. Why are we doing that for these people? They are starting to experience it up there for themselves. But as long as it's over there and they don't experience it, then it's not really your problem. If I don't see it, then it doesn't exist. That's kind of what's going on. So, yeah, I presume he's not conservative at all, but even he understands what's happening with the border. But again, he's probably right there in Texas, living there, and he sees it with his own two eyes. So when you're seeing things that affect you directly, then a lot of times you're going to have to say something. You're not going to just suffer because that's your political affiliation. At a certain point, you don't like to suffer. You don't like being uncomfortable. You don't like being put into a bad situation. So then you criticize your own people when normally if it doesn't affect you, you're more likely to turn a blind eye to it. Now, let's go back to New York City. Speaking about the border, the migrants and all of that, this video right here, this video needs to get played on every Jumbotron of every city's stadium across the country, maybe even across the world. So these are the guys, little bit of context. You saw it already. You saw the middle fingers going up. These are the guys who got arrested in New York City for assaulting the police officers in Times Square. These are criminal aliens, okay? They were arrested and released with no bail. Now, word on the street from New York Post is that some of these guys have already fled the city. They got on the bus and went to California. And then they tried to say, well, maybe they went to Mexico. Yeah, right. They're probably still right here in the USA, but they're in California. Now, here's a question I have for you guys. If these guys are in California hiding out and then they get caught, arrested or whatever for something else out there, do you think California will extradite them back to New York City? Will that happen? Listen, California, sanctuary state, as far as I know. New York, sanctuary state. New York City, sanctuary city. Part of the sanctuary is not alerting the federales of their sanctuary, of their status. Non-citizen, asylum seeker, criminal alien. You don't tell them of their status so they don't get deported. Now, will there be any kind of report from New York to California or back and forth about, hey, we got this guy. Do you want him? Do you want to come back to New York City? Are they going to send him back, or are they going to keep their mouth shut? But watch this.
Just into Fox News now, NYPD making 2 more arrests, illegal immigrants, and that attack on officers. Those suspects also allegedly stole an officer's cell phone. Well, that'll help them track you down. So a 5th illegal immigrant accused of attacking 2 New York City police officers over the weekend showed no remorse or regret. He was seen, as you can see, giving his 2 middle fingers to the cameras moments after being released without bail.
Now, there's more about these guys, but let's play the full kind of unedited version. Well, it's kind of edited. You got the middle fingers blurred out, but you see what's going on.
What? Is that how you respect this? I don't speak English. Is that how you respect this country? I don't speak English. I don't speak English.
You speak English?
No.
No English?
Español.
Espanol? Just... You like America?
That's nice. Is this how you feel about this country?
Now, when they do stuff like that, when they're giving the bird, the middle finger or whatever, when they're doing that, it's not just to the cameraman, it's to us, the citizenry. Because understand this, what they were doing in New York City was they were part of an organized crime ring. They were going, stealing iPhones. Like, a lot of these guys, see, them attacking the police was just one of many crimes that they had done over like a 2-month period in New York City. One guy got like 10 charges in one day before they hit the officers. These guys were getting scooters and stealing phones from people in the street. They stole like 100 phones, some crazy number they stole. They were stealing phones, iPads, any kind of electronics. They were just stealing in New York City as part of an organized crime ring. And then they would go to Florida to spend their proceeds from their thievery. And then when they were on CNN speaking about, it was 2 CNN panelists, 2 CNN hosts, and there was a legal expert talking to him on the show. And they were asking the expert, hey, well, if they're going to Florida to spend the money, why not just stay down there? And he was like, well, you can't commit crime down there because you get arrested. you go to jail in Florida, unlike New York. So the middle finger was against the cameraman, against us, and New York City. Why would they respect anything about the city when they could do whatever they want and not face any kind of penalty? If you're getting arrested and then released immediately with no bail, that's not punishment. That's a minor inconvenience at best. A minor inconvenience at best. Now, if you're in Florida, however, you might go to the penitentiary. Little Rocks. You can't just do whatever you want in Florida. There's actual penalties. There's consequences of your criminal behavior. All right. So really what's happening in New York City with the migrants and everything else, that's the fault of those that are in power, those who are in charge. All right. Now, this is going to Chicago about the migrants. This is like impacting the whole country. Chicago has an issue with the migrants, and my man right here is, I'm not sure where he is. Maybe at a town hall meetings, city council meeting or something. But let's just hear his point of view.
Amen. They are finally waking up. Let me start. NPR reported from August of last year to December of this year, they will spend $252 million on the migrants.
Actually, probably about 450 billion on the migrants, but carry on.
$252 million. 17,000 migrants come into this city. And just in Chicago. If we just break that in half and they become families, you got 8,500 families. Hispanics have 3.5 children. I'm submitting to you, in one generation, just one generation, the black vote will be null. They will have an additional 24,000 people on the voting rolls, along with the Hispanic population already here. They're playing chess, and you all are playing checkers. You are damning our youth, our next generation, to poverty by you all doing these political speeches. One generation, our youth, our vote will be null in all of these 6 sanctuary cities. And what are you going to do about that?
Okay, there's a lot I want to say. I'm going to be a little bit offensive, a small bit. Not really, but a little bit. The reality is, if you're worried about your vote being null, that's been done. Your vote has been null for a very long time. There's no need for the black vote at all. Only in certain circumstances. Not in Chicago. It's not really needed. It's not needed. And if the vote is your concern, that shouldn't be your primary concern. You will be replaced in general, not just for voting, but for living. Listen, what they're going to do, they're going to tear down a lot of your projects where you live, a lot of your low-income housing where you live, or they're going to try to tax you out with development in your area. So let's say you're living in a place, like, let's go to D.C., for example. I know about D.C. a little bit. You're living in D.C., you own your home, been there 30 years. All of a sudden, it becomes more and more important for people who live in D.C. to work in, like, the government places, and they're getting more and more and more money. They didn't want to live way out there in Annandale, Alexandria, Fairfax. They want to live right in Southeast, right where you live. So your house that's been there for 30 years, like my aunt and uncle who live out there in D.C., okay, they're going to develop something right next to it. That's going to raise property value. It's going to raise taxes. Can you pay the taxes? No? Okay, well, we need that. And then the whole block will have the same thing happen. They can't pay their taxes. So we're taking all these houses, tearing them down, and building up more expensive houses. So you'll be removed from the community that way. Then they're bringing the migrants to live in certain places that are going to be brand new for them. You've already been gone to way out Fredericksburg somewhere. You're going to be way out in the boondocks at best. They're going to bring the migrants in to where you are, to your schools, to your community centers, to your neck of the woods. They'll bring them right there. They will simply replace you physically. The vote at that point will be, the vote won't be your concern primarily. The concern will be, am I going to have somewhere to live? Can I even live in Chicago anymore? Can I live in D.C. anymore? Can I live in Detroit anymore? No, you're going to be way out in the middle of nowhere, in the boondocks at best, country at best. No more city living for underperforming black community. If you part of that community, I'm not saying we all are doing that, but if you're struggling in Chicago, New York, LA, you're done. They've already done that in California. San Fran used to be a high black population place. It used to be a high black population place, relatively high. Not no more. There was a black community in San Francisco. A lot of us there. But now, white and Asian, that's it. And a few Hispanics sprinkled in. That's it. Okay, you black, go to Oakland. Go to the worst ghetto in the country, Oakland. That's where you go. Or you're going way out to the valley. You're going to Oregon. You're going to go way, way far away. That's the ultimate plan for you. So the vote, that's one thing. But your vote has been unimportant for a long time. Only in certain circumstances is your vote important. The vote was important in the black community for Joe Biden becoming the nominee. That's it. In South Carolina specifically, because in South Carolina, black folks are the majority of the Democrat population. Like, because it's a red state, but it's kind of divided black and white. 75% of Democrats in South Carolina are black. And they remember him, Joe Biden, from the Obama administration. So when primary time came around, let's vote for him because of the Obama connection. But aside from that, your vote won't be important. Whoever they put in there to be the nominee, your vote won't make a difference one way or the other because it goes 90% for one party. Anyway, I'm getting triggered, so I digress. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. All right, we got a lot more to get into. Where do I want to begin? Hold on here. Oh, speaking about California, this was funny. Gavin Newsom, he was so stunned about people refusing to pay for their items when they leave a store. He's like, well, wait a minute. What's going on here? He has no idea about the laws of his state, I suppose, about the lack of any kind of prosecution for most of these offenses of shoplifting. Let's watch this. You got to see it with your own two eyes.
Says, sir, you dropped this. And he comes back, picks it up, and keeps walking out. As we're checking out, the woman says, oh, he's just walking out. He didn't pay for that. I said, well, why didn't you stop him? She goes, oh, the governor. Swear to God, true story. On my mom's grave. The governor lowered the threshold. There's no accountability. I said, that's just not true. And I said, we have the 10th toughest, $950, the 10th toughest in America. She doesn't even know what I was talking about. By the way, it's the 10th toughest in America. Look it up. No one gives a damn about that. And I said, it's just not true. There's still stop. They said, well, we don't stop them because of the governor. And then she looks at me twice, and then she freaks out. She calls everyone over, wants to take photos. I'm like, no, I'm not taking a photo. We're having a conversation. Where's your manager? How are you blaming the governor? And it was, $380 later. And I was like, why am I spending $380? Everyone can walk the hell right out.
I mean, do you guys think that he's trolling here? Listen, so if you guys don't quite understand what's happening, this is California Governor Gavin Newsom on a Zoom call with other leaders in California. You got the mayor of Riverside, California, the mayor of Irvine, Mayor Kine. You got mayors, you got, people that are in power in California on the Zoom call with him. And he's at his store buying some items, and then somebody in front of him just walked away and didn't pay. And he's asking the person, why didn't you stop him? And the person's like, oh, would the governor lower the threshold for prosecution? Okay. Anything below $1,000, you're not really going to prosecute. So, well, actually not lowered it, raised the threshold for prosecution to $1,000. So what's the point in trying to stop the guy if he won't get locked up anyway? And I'm a cashier. What am I going to do? Like, should I just jump from behind the counter and try to wrestle this guy over $100 to maybe get deleted, and the guy won't go to prison and he might sue me if he gets injured? Is he trolling here, or is he being serious? Does he really think that his state is tough on crime? It can't be.
Not fair. Not fair.
They're all laughing. Yeah, see, you got big smiles. She's smiling. They're all smiling. He's dead serious, apparently, but they're laughing because they know it's BS.
Yeah, it's my target. She triggered me. Sorry.
I'm gonna go ahead and get us started. I know that Mayor Gloria and Mayor Breed are still logging on, so
hopefully all the reporters weren't on for that.
We've got
Mayor Breed late. She black.
About 30 folks on, so we're gonna go ahead and get started here. I know that Mayor Gloria, as the chair of Big City Mayors, was going to kick us off and introduce Mayor Mohan from San Jose. So, Mayor, you're going to go ahead and kick it off, and then hopefully Mayor Breed will be on by then for you to hand it over, and if not, I will jump in. So I'll go ahead and kick it over to you, and I just want to say thanks to everybody for being here. We will open it up for Q&A at the end.
Okay, so that's pretty much that. But yeah, so do you guys think that he's really being serious? Like, he doesn't understand what's going on with the laws in the state, to where if there's no prosecution below $1,000, then there's no purpose in trying to stop anybody from shoplifting. Why? If you stop them, they're not going to get prosecuted. They're going to come right back and do the exact same thing in that store as soon as they get out. Maybe they get arrested, and it's to the point where the police probably won't even come. Okay, you call the police. Ring, Compton police. Yeah, somebody came into my liquor store and they stole a 40-ounce and some blunt wraps. Okay, what am I going to do about that? What do you want me to do about that? If I go to the place, he probably won't be there anyway. And if he is there and I lock him up, he won't get prosecuted. So I'm going to have to take time out of my day. I'm already stressed. I'm already understaffed. I got to file paperwork and documentation about this guy for no reason. Yeah, so it's crazy. Shout out to Gavin Newsom for not understanding really basic things about what's happening in this country. Now, here is another rapper. I almost forgot about him, Killer Mike. Now, I don't know. Matter of fact, I ain't gonna play that. That's kind of old. Because one thing about Twitter, sometimes they show me old videos and I don't want to play old stuff. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to this guy, Abraham Gill. Now, have you guys seen this person, Abraham Gill? This guy is the son of an Israeli consulate consul, which is like a diplomat, but it may not be a diplomat. And if you're a diplomat, you have diplomatic immunity. So you are immune from civil and criminal prosecution in this country and others as well. And that same privilege is afforded to your family members, your close family members. If you commit some kind of crime over here, you will not get prosecuted. But they're saying that this young man does not have that privilege because his father, Eli Gill, is not really a diplomat. He kind of is, but not really, technically. So he's facing 2 felony offenses, aggravated battery, and resisting an officer with violence. And one thing about it, this particular thing happened in Miami, Florida. Now, if he was in New York City and he was a criminal migrant, then he could do whatever he wants to the officer and it wouldn't be a big deal. You get arrested, released. You could flee to California, to Honduras, wherever you want to go, and it's fine. But let's watch this. He has a hearing scheduled for February 26th. Now, hopefully he doesn't flee because although he's being charged and there is going to be prosecution, he was let out. So he's not in jail as far as I know. Okay. Now, hopefully he doesn't flee back to Israel or wherever he has a passport at. I'm sure he has an Israeli passport because his dad is a diplomat, but I digress. Let's watch this.
Only on 10. A teenager facing a judge accused of running over a police officer.
We're learning the suspect is the son of a diplomat, and his attorney says he has immunity. Local 10's Christian De La Rosa is live in Sunny Isles Beach with the exclusive. Christian.
These are very serious charges against this young man, but we're learning these charges may end up being dropped because his father works for the Israeli consulate here in Miami. But this supposed immunity is under question tonight. This is 19-year-old Abraham Gill's.
Now, look, I'm not feeling any kind of sympathy for this guy. Zero sympathy. You want to start crying? You won't cry when you did what you did. Anytime I see a crying mugshot, I don't feel any sympathy. I actually get kind of infuriated, especially when they did a thing that could have been totally avoided by them.
Mugshot. He was arrested after police say he ran over a cop. Sunny Isles Beach police say it happened over the weekend. The police report says an officer was conducting a traffic stop on Collins Avenue near 174th Street. The officer reportedly spotted Gill on a motorcycle weaving in and out of traffic and gave him loud, verbal, lawful commands to stop. The officer claiming not only did Gill ignore him, he says the young man on the motorcycle intentionally ran him over. The policeman survived, but detectives say his leg was incapacitated. Gill was arrested and charged for resisting an officer with violence and aggravated assault on a cop. But when he got to court, they let him go home.
Mr. Gill is a diplomat son. He has consular immunity.
Now, let's pause. That is not true. They thought that he had that immunity. That's his dad right there, Eli Gill. The State Department said that he does not have that immunity. The U.S. State Department, the feds, spoke on it, and they say, no, he does not have that immunity, and he will be charged. Now, I don't know if he's back in jail or if he's out, but if he's out, he might not be in Florida. Hopefully, they revoke his passport, because if he has a passport, he's going straight back to Israel immediately. that'd be his first goal. That'd be his first objective, is to go back home.
Turns out Gill is the son of Eli Gill, a consul for administration under the Consulate General for Israel in Miami. His attorney claiming therefore he has something called consular immunity from criminal jurisdictions.
Immunity that's given to diplomats and their families when they're stationed here in the United States.
But this immunity privilege may not apply to all categories of diplomatic workers and their families, says legal analyst David Weinstein.
Diplomatic immunity is not given to people who are called consular officials. And those are people who are not the head diplomatic agent of a foreign country here in the United States. So there is a distinction.
So we've been reaching out to the Israeli consulate here in Miami for their reaction and to ask them directly if they believe this consular immunity applies in this case. So far, their comment has been no comment.
So what do you guys think? Do you think that he should get immunity from any kind of wrongdoing? Now, to be clear, he does not have immunity. They thought that he did, but he doesn't, because his father, although he is classified as a diplomat, is not the head diplomat. He's like the number two behind someone else. So he does not have that particular privilege specifically. And again, if your dad is a diplomat, you are able to have the same privilege of immunity applied to you. But that's not quite what's going on. So the State Department says he does not have that privilege. But even if he did have the privilege, should he have it? Should you be able to do whatever you want to do as a diplomat? You're going to hit an officer on the street with a motorcycle intentionally? I mean, is that what you should have the ability to do? I think not. So yeah, in my opinion, I say big rocks, little rocks. Straight to the penitentiary. We don't got time for the nonsense. Now, speaking about not having time for the nonsense, Fani Willis. Oh, yeah. Let's talk about Fani. Now, Fani has admitted to the romantic relationship with Nathan Wade. Now, this has been an ongoing story. Talking about our own goal, talking about just incompetence, because it's one thing to be corrupt. It's another to be incompetent. This right here is pure incompetence, in my humble opinion. Look, you bringing on the guy that you were fornicating with, and I'm trying to be PG-13, you bringing on this guy to be a special prosecutor in the case involving the president of the USA. You don't think there's going to be a high level of scrutiny on this case? Look, if you're doing little small Fulton County, Georgia, ticky-tack stuff, who cares, right? Who cares? I mean, people that are involved with the case care, but we don't care as a general public. If little Walmart Tavius then robbed a Publix and you're doing that case as the DA, okay, if you engage in corruption, we're not really going to know about it. But you want to try to prosecute Donald Trump, President Trump, really? And you think you can bring on your lover and pay him $650,000 US and ain't nobody gonna know what's going on? You think you can go on vacations and trips and spend taxpayer money on these trips? And it's funny because in her admittance that her and Nathan Wade are a thing, she said, well, look, it wasn't just him paying for the trips. It was me paying for the trips too. I was like, you know what? You know what? You are a whole big crazy mess, Fani Willis. A whole bit crazy, incompetent, sloppy, fat mess. But anyway, let's look at this right here. Now she's being subpoenaed by Jim Jordan. Oh, yeah. So this might go way beyond Fulton County, Georgia. This is going to be for the whole world to see. Check it out.
8 minutes past the hour now. House Judiciary Chair Jim Jordan apparently subpoenaed Fulton County DA Fani Willis for documents after 3 attempts that he had made to get her to respond to requests voluntarily, to no avail. The subpoena is now for documents, not an appearance now, related to the Fulton County DA's use and misuse, allegedly, of federal funds. Willis is under the microscope for this alleged improper romantic relationship with a special prosecutor that she hired for the Georgia election interference case. It's the big RICO case now, stacked up against former President Donald Trump and many others. So we will see how that turns out for
That
Jim
case is
Jordan.
my new one life to live.
So that's one thing going on, that she's getting subpoenaed. Now, let's check something else out here. There's one more I want to get to. And this is an update from Fox 5 Atlanta about her and Nathan Wade.
And we begin tonight with confirmation from DA Fani Willis that she has a, quote, personal relationship with a key aide in the Trump prosecution, but she denies anything improper. Good evening, I'm Russ Spencer.
I'm Courtney Bryant. This is the first time Willis has responded to a motion asking the court to dismiss all charges in the election interference case, accusing the DA of a conflict of interest. Fox 5 I-Team reporter Randy Travis has spent the afternoon poring over the 176-page response. There's a lot in there, Randy.
There was a lot, Courtney. Yeah, Fani Willis went to great lengths in her response to hopefully to convince Judge Scott McAfee there is no need for a hearing February 15th to decide whether this relationship is fatal to the criminal case.
Now let's pause right here. There probably won't be a hearing because there's been an agreement reached between Nathan Wade and his wife, Jocelyn, as far as the settlement. Now, he was supposed to testify recently, but he won't testify because of the settlement. Now, do you guys think it's a coincidence that he has settled the case with his wife, the divorce case, and all this is happening right now at the same time? So he was going to go testify, and so was she, but now it's settled. Remember, the divorce was initiated by Nathan Wade in November of 2021. November of 2021. We're now February 24, and it's just now being settled. Right on the eve of him going to court and testifying, right on the eve of her going to court and testifying in the divorce case. Now it gets settled. I think maybe somebody got a big bag of money from somebody else and said, hey, okay, give her the money, give her this big bag of money, and it'll all go away. What do y'all think? Let me know in the comments.
But one defense attorney is already challenging the DA's response. The allegations stem largely from a contentious divorce involving a key prosecutor in the Trump election interference case. Nathan Wade's estranged wife accused him of having an affair with DA Fani Willis, while at the same time Willis paying him $650,000 so far to run point on the high-profile racketeering investigation. Attorneys for Michael Roman, one of the remaining 15 defendants, accused Willis of personally profiting from those payments because Wade paid for their vacations to California and the Caribbean. Two other defendants joined the motion to dismiss the entire case.
This was so crazy because this moment right here was when she announced the charges against Trump and the other co-defendants, and Nathan Wade was right there by her side. I mean, you couldn't get no more obvious than this. I mean, come on. Look, people see y'all. Atlanta is small. People say that it's not small. It is small. Because where are you going to hang out in Atlanta? It's only a few places. Downtown, Midtown, Buckhead is where you're going to go in the city of Atlanta. And if you're out and about, people can see you. They recognize you, Miss Fani Willis. They know you because you're on TV. You're getting all kind of attention. You're going doing interviews for no reason, preaching sermons for no reason. You get a lot of attention. People see you, and they see him right there with you. So people know that you guys are together. The streets are talking, and you got paperwork, receipts to prove it. And when you announce the charges against Trump, he's right next to you. I mean, come on, man. Anybody could have put two and two together to get four in this situation. But the most important thing is that you're giving this man so much money, and allegedly you appointed him without going through proper channels. And one more thing, she allegedly gave him COVID relief money to fund the first part of this whole relationship.
Indictment brings felony charges against Donald John Trump.
But in her response, Willis called the allegations salacious, based on public relations strategy, not legal argument. She included a sworn statement from Wade, the first time he's talked under oath about the allegations. Wade
wait a minute. Okay, I see a few things right there. I never cohabitated with Fani Willis. I never lived with her. While professional associates and friends since 2019. So they knew each other back in 2019. That's a key thing, because the allegation is they were fornicating before she appointed him. That'd be a problem. That'd be a big problem. Okay. But look, they have known each other since 2019. There was no personal relationship between District Attorney Fani Willis and me prior to or any time of my appointment as special prosecutor in 2021. In 2022, District Attorney Willis and I developed a personal relationship in addition to our professional association and friendship. That's a lie. He's trying to say it happened in 2022, because if it happened in 2021, then that'd be a problem, because that was before she appointed him. If they were already doing their thing prior to him getting appointed, then the argument is the reason why she brought him on and bypassed the regular way of doing it is because that was her lover, and she wanted to pay him a bunch of money as lover's kickback. See, that right there, that would destroy both of them. Let me see. I have no financial interest in the outcome of the 2020 election interference case or in the conviction of any defendant. Well, whether you win or lose, you still get paid the money, so you don't really care about that. That's not really important. No funds paid to me in compensation for my role as special prosecutor have been shared with or provided to District Attorney Willis. So when you were paying for the plane tickets and the cruises and the vacations and the spa days and the winery visits, where'd that money come from? Not from the $650,000 you got from her? No, not even $1 of it? Okay, I digress.
Wade did admit a personal relationship with Willis, but one that started in 2022, months after he was hired as a special prosecutor. As for the amount of money he's made in the case, Willis explained, quote, Special Prosecutor Wade made much more money than the other special prosecutors, only because Wade did much more.
No, because when you were in church, you said, oh, well, he got paid the same hourly rate as everybody else, but the reason why they picking him because he's black. So now, first you said the reason why they're picking on him is because he's black. Now you saying, well, we were fornicating, and he did get paid more. So which one is it? This lady is a whole idiot.
Work. She included many examples of Wade's legal experience, even pointing out that the defense attorney who filed the motion suggesting he was unqualified actually endorsed him in 2016 when Wade ran for a judgeship, praising his experience.
Man, please, that's not the same thing as trying to become trying to have a low position like that is not the same thing as trying to prosecute the president. Okay, if I elect you to become dog catcher, that does not mean I want you to be the president of the USA. There's a far cry in between the two. I mean, this lady, man.
Admitted relationship with Wade, among other points. At the moment that February 15th hearing is still on, Willis and Wade still subpoenaed to testify.
Well, another judge asked Fani Willis what she was thinking with regard to a different issue, a fundraiser that she held. Obviously, Ashley Merchant's hoping that perhaps this judge might think the same thing about this thing.
Yeah, with Burr Jones, exactly. Another unforced error. Fani Willis has been criticized for having this relationship. But again, it's going to be up to the judge here not just to decide whether this is a conflict of interest, but whether to even hold the evidentiary hearing, because that could be a far greater impact on the case if Fani Willis is under oath answering questions about this relationship.
All right.
There we are. That's your girl, Fani Willis. So hopefully she gets locked up, going straight to the penitentiary, Big Rocks, Little Rocks. So we're going to see, man. We're definitely going to see how this whole thing goes. Okay, here's one of these interviews she did back in July 2020. It says, candidate Fani Willis, while running for DA, says she should be elected because Fulton County deserves a DA who won't have sex with his employees, says the place is full of corruption. She will clean up the mess. Okay, hold on. You got to see this.
The district attorney's office in Fulton should be the beacon of the Southeast. It should be the absolute best office between Washington, D.C. and Miami. And right now what you have is a office of dysfunction and corruption, and we deserve better. And I am the right choice to improve it.
Corruption, Ms. Willis, that's a strong word to level against the office that Paul Howard has run for nearly a quarter century. If he gets reelected, it'll be more than 25 years.
You have a DA sitting there that doesn't have the qualifications and the experience to do the job. What I can guarantee you is with my reputation, with my community ties, I am going to be able to attract the best and the brightest minds to that office. You're sitting with someone today that actually wants to make a difference because they deserve a DA that won't have sex with his employees.
Oh!
Because they deserve a DA that won't put money in their own pocket when it should go to benefit children, because we deserve better.
Wow. Fani, did you say that for real? Look, when I was reading the caption, I was like, no way she said that for real. No way she said that. Again, this is from July 2020. Funny how the turntables. And I think I heard something in the beginning. Did I hear a chirp or am I tripping? Am I losing my mind or did I hear a chirp? Hold on. Let's go back.
The district attorney's office in Fulton should be the beacon of the Southeast. It should be the absolute best office between Washington, D.C. and Miami. And right now what you have is a office of dysfunction and corruption, and we deserve better. And I am the right choice to improve it.
Corruption, Ms. Willis, that's a strong word to level against the office that Paul Howard has run for nearly a quarter century. If he gets reelected.
Oh my God, I heard a chirp. Yo. You know what? Atlanta, please, y'all gotta do better, man. Y'all gotta do better, man. This is crazy. I'm hearing chirps in the background. Y'all don't got no battery and smoke detector. Are we in the library? Like, where are we at right now? Are we in somebody's house? What's going on? Can y'all please fix the batteries in the library smoke detector? I mean, goodness gracious. What in the world's going on? That's crazy. Yes, okay. The chirp is when you hear, unfortunately, in a lot of our households, a lot of black folks, people are not hearing the smoke detector battery going off, and they just let the thing chirp all day long. Okay, I heard a chirp in the background in this audio right here I'm listening to. This better, I swear for everything in the world, this better not be in a library or something like that. It's better be in somebody's house. Okay, if it's in a house, okay, I understand. This better not be a library. I promise. Oh my goodness.
In 25 years.
You have a DA.
Wait a minute. Okay, one more time.
Dysfunction and corruption, and we deserve better. And I am the right choice to improve it.
Corruption, Ms. Willis, that's a strong word to level against the office that Paul Howard has run for nearly a quarter century. If he gets reelected.
Oh, I heard it. That's crazy. All right, I think I'm through with this particular piece of audio. I'm going to play the last little bit right here where she really got ironic, and then I'll keep on rocking and rolling. And if you like what you heard so far, please give the video a thumbs up. Like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Yeah, it's a house. I see pictures in the background, family pictures in the background. Yeah, definitely a house.
I am going to be able to attract the best and the brightest minds to that office. You're sitting with someone today that actually wants to make a difference because they deserve a DA that won't have sex with his employees, because they deserve a DA that won't put money in their own pocket when it should go to benefit children, because we deserve better.
Man, oh man, oh man. Okie dokie. All righty, that's that. And I see some of y'all talking about the lady in the pink. That's regular Atlanta all day long. You see that you see that at Whole Foods. That's like super regular. The big heavy helmet weave and she looks nice, but that's regular in Atlanta. So if you like that, go to Atlanta. You can see them all day long. That's not even really nothing. So shout out to her and shout out to the chirp. Please fix the smoke detector battery for the love of God. Oh my goodness. But let's keep on rocking here. We got a little bit more to get into. Alrighty, and let me play my man. Okay, it's gonna be a little bit of cussing. It's gonna be a tad bit of cussing, so y'all please bear with me. If you got little kids, please cover their ears. All right, let's check it out. Now this is my man. This is my man that okay, a little bit of context. What's happening in Boston, Massachusetts, specifically in the Roxbury neighborhood. Remember, you had Ayanna Pressley. She was talking about how it was racist for Walgreens to close. And the reason why they're closing is because of the crime and the violence. She don't want to talk about that. Oh, well, we got to put people above profits. Dumb stuff. Anyway, this man right here is working and homeless, and he was denied access to the community center, which provide adult and youth services, because the migrants have now commandeered it. Okay, this is part of the thing I was talking about as far as you being replaced. All right, let's watch this.
And I've been here my whole fucking because I can yell. Because I can yell. Because I can yell. And I'm fucking angry. That's why.
I hear you. I do hear you.
So why can't I get in the fucking building?
Because you can't get in right now. No one can go in.
Why? Where's the mayor at? Y'all, this fucking town's a fucking sham, yo. It's all about fucking money. It's a fucking money grab. Y'all don't give a fuck about the motherfuckers that was born and fucking raised here. Y'all raised the fucking rent so fucking high. Can't afford to live here, but y'all gonna bring some other motherfuckers here? That doesn't fucking add up. It doesn't make no fucking sense. None. None. I'm fucking homeless. I work a full-time job, 40 hours, and can't pay to live here. How the fuck are y'all gonna bring somebody else here? Don't make no fucking sense. None.
So my man obviously is frustrated. He can't get into the actual rec center. Again, this is a rec center in the community. This is, I don't want to say the wrong thing. Hold on. Let's see. Hold on. It's a rec center in Boston. Let me say the right thing here. Melnia Cass, right? The Melnia Cass Recreation Center in Boston in the Roxbury neighborhood. Roxbury is a black neighborhood. Ayanna Pressley said it's a person of color neighborhood. It's a black neighborhood. It's been like that for a long time. This is where Bobby Brown came from for New Edition. You know Bobby Brown. That's like a historic black neighborhood in Boston. Now, Melnia Cass was a black woman who was a civil rights activist, very well known in the community, known as the First Lady of Roxbury. And this particular location is right on MLK in Roxbury. So black. Now, the rec center has been commandeered by migrants for them to use because they've been crowded up in the Logan Airport in Boston. So where else are we going to put them? We're going to put them right here. And if you are an adult using the rec center for whatever you want to use it for, you're kind of pushed to the back. You're a child using it for whatever you want to use it for. You want to go in there and exercise, play football. Nope, no. Now it's migrants. So what are you going to do? Figure it out. Now, some are going to say, well, you shouldn't be yelling at the officers because it's not their fault that that's happening. You got to talk to your elected officials, of course. But what are you going to do? You're trying to go there right at that moment, but you can't. So you're just going to vent your frustration at that moment. I understand his frustration, but I also understand the need to talk to who you got to talk to. All right. Now, some are going to say that if I say you voted for it, that's the wrong thing to do. But you got to really understand what's going on. If you voted for it, then it is what it is. You got to vote differently. You see, people say I shouldn't say that. Man, you can't say that because you're not trying to help. You're not really trying to listen. When I was young and dumb, when I was young and ignorant to the world, you had to really tell me something harsh like that. You voted for it. If I'm sitting here complaining about what's happening in my city, in my state, in my town, or wherever I live, or in my nation, okay, here's a question. Who'd you vote for? Okay, well, your man, your party did X, Y, and Z. That's why you are where you are today. And if you want different, you got to do different. You can't keep doing the same things and getting the same negative results. It's simple. But a lot of us in the community, we think that automatically if you vote Republican or anything other than Democrat, then you're voting for racist. There's no logic in the argument. It's a fear tactic. It's shaming. It's shaming language. What my man used to say, Kevin Samuels, RP Kevin Samuels, shame, insult, guilt need to be right. The shame, insult, and guilt behind voting for a different party. But now, I mean, to be my age and to kind of just have my mentality, I don't really care. I don't really care anymore. I had to get beyond that. But I had to get told first that what I was doing is wrong. I couldn't just be coddle or baby, because that's the reason why I got to where I was at to begin with, was the coddling and the babying. I got to actually be told things that are harsh and straight to the point, direct. You the same with Latina girl? I'm with you. Shout out to you, Latina girl. Yep. So that's just kind of what that is. But yeah, shout out to my man. I mean, hopefully things get better for him in Boston. But when you get Ayanna Pressley out there as a House rep, that's her area, Boston. When you have the mayor, the Asian lady, the Chinese lady, when you have the Democrats running the show, and then they give preference to the illegal aliens, to the criminal aliens, to the asylum seekers, to the migrants, whatever you want to call them. When they give them preference, you're going to take the back. You're gonna be placed in the back all the time. You will never get any kind of preferential treatment. It's very simple. Yep. And shout out to you guys. RIP to Carl Weathers. I saw a lot of you guys saying that in the chat a lot. So RIP to my main man, Carl Weathers. You guys may know Carl Weathers as what was it, Apollo Creed on in Rocky. All right, hold on. Let me see if I can pull him up right quick. He was how old? I believe he was 76 years old. So shout out to Carl Weathers. This is him right here. Okay, a more recent picture, and then him when he was in the Rocky movies. So shout out to Carl Weathers, RIP. Great actor, great American. All right. But we got some super chats on deck. I'm going to get to those. Then I'm going to get to the calls. The number to call, 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. And before we get to that, I got one more clip to play. This is from Anna Kasparian of Young Turks. Y'all know who Anna is. As far as I know, a pretty stone cold stomp down liberal, but even she is talking about what's happening with the criminal aliens. This is a thing that's crossing beyond political barriers. And I think at a certain point they may do something, but maybe they won't. Maybe they won't. He was in the NFL as well. He was on the Raiders. That's right. Shout out to you, old Joe. All right. But yeah, RIP to Carl Weathers. But watch this right here. This is from Anna Kasparian of Young Turks. And she's been kind of lambasted for this by some of her constituents, some of her colleagues did not like what she said right here, but check it out right quick.
These are not people you need to provide cover for. These are people who are in the country claiming asylum. They don't have a right to be here. It is a privilege to be able to take advantage of our asylum program. And
so that's her talking about, well, you're taking advantage of what you're being afforded. You're given the privilege to seek asylum in the country. You can't just do whatever you want to do. And this is her response to the NYPD officers being assaulted by 5 asylum seekers, quote unquote asylum seekers. Okay. I'll say criminal aliens, because at a certain point is what they are. Okay. If you're seeking asylum, then why are you fleeing the place that gave you asylum after you get caught committing a bunch of crimes? Like, you're here for the sole purpose of committing crime. These guys are part of a criminal alien organization. It was not just, oh, I'm fleeing crime and violence. And quite frankly, 95% of the so-called asylum seekers, and I'm being nice, I would say 99.99999% of these asylum seekers are not really seeking asylum. Okay, if you got $10,000 to $15,000 in your pocket to be able to have a coyote smuggle you one way, and you keep doing it over and over again throughout the year to try and get to America, obviously wherever you live in that is not that bad for you. If you get all these thousands of dollars to be able to spend on your journey to America, I mean, a lot of Americans don't have $1,000 in their pocket, let alone $10,000 to repeatedly try and come to this country. I'm not buying the whole asylum seeker argument. What's happening is they're bogarting the way to the border, and the Biden administration are allowing many of them to have the status of asylum seeker. That's what's happening. And they're giving them a court date 15 million years in the future. And the ultimate goal is for them to be able to just become citizens and vote, and then become part of a uniparty and replace any kind of lower class Americans. That's the ultimate goal here. Okay, so if you black, white, whatever, Puerto Rican candy stripe, and you're not living up to what they think you should be doing in this country, you're kind of operating on a low level, they'll just make you die out. You'll get shipped away to the middle of nowhere, to the boondocks, and they will replace you with the brand new people. That's going to be the brand new you. But I'm getting way too deep, so I digress. Let's get to the super chats, and we're going to get to the calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. The number will always be right here in the ticker. Also, there it is right there, 434-658-1220. And it'll always also be in the description. Let's go to the super chats right quick. Then we're going to get to the calls. So y'all hang tight. Thank you to Apu Bakar, All Puff Daddy, who says, so sad that black children are kicked out of their swimming pool and basketball courts and to house illegal aliens. Why not use Fenway Park or Foxborough? They don't want to do that. Also, Martha's Vineyard. Remember Martha's Vineyard, where DeSantis sent the migrants Martha's Vineyard? Within 48 hours or less, they were immediately deported to a military base. They got a whole warship. I'm exaggerating, but they were sent to a military base. 48 hours, they were gone. They were out of there. And I got to find that picture. It was the most hilarious picture of the migrants leaving. I never seen something so funny in my life. It was the best, because as they were leaving, I won't say all the residents, but a few of the residents of Martha's Vineyard were kind of just watching them leave. It was like if Live, Laugh, Love was a person, if We Love Everybody was a person, but it was totally BS, because you knew that they wanted them out of there immediately. They're not trying to house these criminal migrants at all. Okay, within 48 hours, they were out of there. But you living in Roxbury, you living in anywhere else on the mainland in Massachusetts, well, look, you take them. We're not going to take them. You take them. It's the same thing when you got people that want to, when you ask these multimillionaires, billionaires, or whatever, hey, you want to take in a few migrants to your house? No, we're not going to do that. But then when it comes to your school, your high school, middle school, or whatever, they'll commandeer that. Your rec center, they'll commandeer that. Okay, and you paying for it with your own taxpayer money. You're trying to save some money. You rather would have money in your pocket than some of these centers, kind of a little bit, at least a little bit, in my opinion. But you can't really have that when, I found it. You can't really have that when these people run the show. Now, this was hilarious. Look at this. Okay, this is some of the Martha's Vineyard residents waving at the migrants as they're leaving. And you see the caption here, that feeling when your dream of deporting immigrants off the island becomes reality. Look at her face, like the hands and all of that. So diverse, right? So diverse. Why don't you guys on Martha's Vineyard want diversity? You guys got a bunch of empty vacation houses. It's plenty of space to house these people. Why don't you want them there? Why must they go to the inner city with the black folks you say you love so much, huh? I mean, you tell me what's going on with that, but I digress. Okay, let's go back to super chats. Thank you to Bobcat MITU says, can you tell us all what's up with your 1 million play button? I have no idea, man. Your guess is as good as mine. As soon as I know anything, I'll let you guys know. But as of right now, I have no word about it. Maybe I'll talk to my YouTube person again and see if they can tell me something. But as of right now, I know nothing. All right. Thank you to Apu again, who says, R.I.P. Kennedy Sanders, Breonna Moffett, and William Jerome Rivers. Deeply grateful for their sacrifices and heroism. Biden not tough on Iran because of Obama. You're speaking about those who lost their lives over in Jordan, in that particular part of the world with the strike. Yep. So R.I.P. to them, all from Georgia. Thank you to Apple again, who says, favorite Carl Weathers movie, Rocky, Predator, Happy Gilmore. I would say probably Rocky. Yeah, Predator was good too, though. But Rocky, that's all-time classic. You can't really top that, in my opinion. Thank you to Lothair, who says, I'm hitting the gym a lot more. You got any advice on how to bulk up? I'm mostly eating steaks and eggs protein. I try to get as much as tips as I can to bulk up or to get cut. Because how much you weigh right now? That's the question. Now, if you're trying to get cut, just cut your carbohydrates. That's really the long and short of that. Cut your carbohydrates, focus on protein. Yeah, that's really it if you're trying to cut. But yeah, it could be kind of hard to be really big and at the same time cut unless you're on steroids. Shout out to the 1980s pro wrestlers. But anyway, I'm not saying it's always like that. You can have genetics on your side. But yeah, I'm not sure how much you weigh right now. I would say if you're kind of on the heavier side and you're not really muscular, go ahead and cut. I would cut first. Thank you to Apple, who says, ABL, setting aside Mr. Biden's obvious cognitive decline, why are so many people enthralled by his 1980s campaign rhetoric? It is so cringe. Are people dumb? Hey, man, I if they're not dumb, I can't tell. Thank you to Apple, who says, ABL, you are street smart. Does money and politics make a difference? Do political ads on TV, radio influence voters? What's best way to up MAGA votes? Money does help for sure, because you gotta, marketing always helps. You gotta know who someone is to make a difference, but it can only do so much. Nikki Haley spent a lot of money. She performed okay for, I'll put it to you this way. The money that was spent on Nikki Haley was not enough to overcome Donald Trump's dominance. You understand? That's ultimately what I'm trying to say. Same thing for your man DeSantis. Okay. Now, although Donald Trump was the people's champ in 2016, he still needed quite a bit of money. He had half of the money Hillary had, but he still needed quite a bit of money. She had like 1.3 billion. He had like 770 something million. So he couldn't have done the campaign for free. But money matters, but also who you are matters. Your ground game matters. Maybe even your prior celebrity matters. People got to know who you are. That's ultimately the long and short. So money can help, and you want to drive turnout. You want to get everybody to turn out all at once, to get so many people to vote, like millions upon millions to vote at once, like half the country to vote. It's kind of a hard thing, and you got to have money to do it. Thank you to Apu again, who says hot dogs or corn dogs or Frankfurters favorite topping. Hot dogs, yeah, a West Virginia style hot dog. And if you know, you know. If you know, you know. West Virginia hot dogs ain't nothing like them in the world. Go down Campbell Creek. Even go into town. Get you a nice West Virginia hot dog. That's like the main thing you do in West Virginia. Get you a good hot dog or a pizza roll. If you know, you know. Because of the Italians that came to mine the coal mines, at a certain point, they brought that food with them. So really, people don't know, but in West Virginia, we have really good pizza. Geno's is kind of okay. Some love Geno's, some don't, but we got really good pizza, the pizza rolls, and the hot dogs. That's the main thing. But on a hot dog, they get one of them square buns, burnt up on the grill. We get chili on that. Let me get all kind of coleslaw on that, and we in business all day long. A good chili dog. All right. Shout out to Apple again, who says Oprah, Serena, Beyonce, Michelle Obama get paid good. Also, black female mayors, Congress reps, police chiefs. Also says Logan, family favorite boxer, Ali, Frazier, Tyson. Probably Tyson. Tyson is, always going to be the topic of conversation. Muhammad Ali was good, but he's more, in my opinion, at this point, known for his political activism. Okay. So shout out to Apple again, who says community reaction to aliens prepaid cards. Hey man, people, they don't really like it, but who's going to do anything about it? Now that's slaw. You got to have a slaw on there. Not a square bun, pardon me, a rectangular bun, a angular bun, not just one of these, kind of spherical type of tubular buns, like a rectangular bun. That's really what I'm trying to say. Can I find what I'm looking for before we get to the calls and everything? But a West Virginia hot dog, you gotta, if you know, you know. I can't really say too much more. Let me see if they got them here. This is kind of it, but not really. Google is not really going to be what you are looking for. They're almost like subs, almost like hoagies. Matter of fact, here's one. Here's one. This is kind of what I'm looking for. Yeah. Matter of fact, yeah, here we go. One of these bad boys right here. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm talking about. Hold on. Now, you get one of these, okay, with the square buns, with the flat sides, with the chili and the slaw on top. Oh, man. Big back activities. I eat these and gain 20 pounds in a week. 20 pounds in 1 week. Okay, that right there, that is West Virginia style hot dog. Okay, put the bun on the grill, the hot dog on the grill, throw your hot dog in the bun, put the chili on top, the slaw on top, maybe a little bit of ketchup in there. Perfect. You've not lived until you had to do a good West Virginia hot dog. I tell you what, drive to Charleston just for the hot dog. Just drive just for the hot dog. I promise. Anyway, let me go ahead and digress. Let me see. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says CNBC has a top 10 most regretted college majors article you might get a kick out of. I think I'm going to look at that. Hold on. Let me just research it so I can bookmark it for later. The top 10 most regretted college majors. Yeah, I'm going to look at that. But not at this moment. Shout out to Lothair, who says, DoorDash stinks. They always forget my drink. Thank you to LXDX for becoming a member. Thank you to Michael Critchlow, who says, forget Snoop. I want to see Eminem do a 180. Yeah, that'd be a good one. Thank you to Per Pill, who says, chirp life. Also, you're 2 on 2 on a live stream chirps. We can go 3 for 3. Shout out Per Pill, who says, 10 illegals per apartment. You can't compete. Spencer T says, talk about Minneapolis, please. What about it specifically? That's kind of a broad statement. I mean, they got lakes. They got Ilhan Omar. I don't know what you mean. That kid is Zero Campbell, who says, oh, Joe promised the full force of the federal government to help Lahaina fire victims. Now Maui people sleeping in tents on the beach because FEMA kicking people out. Well, another promise made and not kept from President Joe Biden. That's kind of what that is. But if you like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's get to the calls here. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Again, 434-658-1220. If the sound doesn't work right, if the Skype doesn't work right, don't blame me. It's not my fault. Blame the white man. Y'all know how it is. All right. Let me get my sound together over here. And we'll be rocking and rolling that way. And shout out to you guys. Yeah, they drank it. Exactly, NKM. They drank your drink. They were thirsty, sir. They got thirsty and drank your drink. That's what happened. All right, let's go. There we go. 250. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello, ABL. Thank you very much for taking my call. I'd like to quickly address a topic that you've talked about the last couple episodes, and I'll try and be brief because it's quite complex, but you've spoken about the media and their integrity. Is it all right if I make a quick point?
Go for it.
Basically, what I wanted to say, I think it's important that everybody understands is most of the people that are in the media have gone through university education, schools of journalism. And if you've been in those university classrooms, as I have, you'll find that they're probably one of the most indoctrinated places to be in terms of philosophy, in terms of how they think. And I've thought quite a bit about how to address this, but I just want to say that if you don't have a certain way of thinking or believing, then you don't last in those places. And the reason that we see a lot of journalists saying things that aren't necessarily true is because a lot of them don't believe in the truth. They don't believe in individual freedom. They believe they're activists for a certain cause. And you can just look for the proof of this in, say, how they reported on something like COVID. Like, I remember watching your coverage, ABL, and if I'm not mistaken, I believe you were very early on saying the vaccine might reduce hospitalization and symptoms, but that it wouldn't allow the disease or wouldn't prevent you from getting the disease or spreading it. Is that accurate?
Correct.
That's right. So I think that when it comes to how we deal with the media, I think it's important that we understand that they're out to achieve a goal. And not everybody understands that. And I think in particular, not the older generation, people in the 65, 70-year-old range who may have grown up with a media that had some integrity. So I think it's very important that we have conversations with those people and say, okay, look, do you see the evidence in front of you now? How many times have they told you something and it turned out to be absolutely wrong? So that's all I had to say. Thank you very much, ABL, for addressing the media piece, because it's probably one of the most important pieces. A lot of people call them the megaphone of the left, which is exactly what they are. And keep talking about it. And I also think we should try, as a ABL community, we should try and maybe get you out there a little more abroad in your voice. So maybe if we pick one platform, something like Timcast, and we as a community say, like, we'd like to see ABL on your program, that might do a little good. So thank you very much, ABL. I'll hang up now. Thank you.
Thank you for the call. Appreciate you. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, man. Timcast reached out to me. Well, the people did, but I'm waiting on them. So whenever Timcast, whenever you're ready, let's do it, man. Let's rock out. Okay, let's keep going. 707 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, you're talking to Maury.
All righty, what's going on?
Hey, when you talked about, like, do you tip on fast foods? It was around Christmas time in 2022, and I was coming home from shopping, just tired, didn't have anything in the house cooked. So I stopped at a fast food restaurant near my home, and I was asked to put a tip on there. It was only the drive-through that was open. I couldn't see the grill. I didn't know what was going on, and I felt extorted. So, yeah, I gave them a tip because I didn't want an extra sauce, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it was extortion, and it's only going to get more now. That gentleman, though, everybody was like, oh, in the chat, they were going like, oh, he's fake, he's fake. No, man, I've seen men like that. They struggle. They struggle. They don't have the best grip on, emotions and stuff, and maybe made some bad choices, but they're not bad people. But, and then you get like, I loved it that he called her like a Swiftie, because it's an attitude that it is so condescending, and you can get to the end of it. You can get to the end of your rope. I've said stuff to kids, you just get to it at a time. May not have been the best choice, but it's certainly an understandable one. And that's pretty much what I have to say about that. ABL, it's going to be a short evening with me tonight, so just got to say thank you, and everybody, be safe out there.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Yeah, asking for a tip through the drive-through. Yeah, you're going to feel extorted, but it's like, okay, do I not tip and then risk them doing something crazy to my food? And that shouldn't even really be a thought in your mind, but it's like you kind of that's really kind of crazy. All right, let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's go to all right, Skype caller. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, greetings, sir. My name is Chris. I'm calling you right now from Kingston, Jamaica. I think I'm like one of few of your international callers, but yeah, I wanted to share like a short story of how I ended up watching your videos on YouTube. Originally, I wasn't seeing much American politics, so it was usually like I used to watch the Hodge Twins. When they became political, it started showing me your videos in my feed. So I started watching your videos. At first, I disagreed with everything you said about Trump, because back then I used to watch more like CNN, mainstream media news, stuff like that. Lost my train of thought for a second. Yes, watching the Hodge Twins, and then I came across your videos. I used to agree with you with most things except for the Trump stuff, until eventually I started to change my mind when he did that interview with the lady, and she said, why do you call it Chinese virus? And he says, because it comes from China. And I was like, oh, yeah, that kind of makes sense. even though people are trying to spin it as like a racist thing, I was like, nah, that makes no sense. It does come from China. But yeah, and another thing I wanted to say was that last week this guy called and said he think you should do more like different kind of content, because sometimes I hear you hint at stuff like video games, CS:GO, stuff like that, and even like anime stuff. So I think doing more different kind of content would be good. Outside of the political stuff, not saying you should stop, but you get what I'm saying.
Absolutely. Yeah, just kind of expand it a little bit more to other things as well as politics.
Yeah. I think that would broaden your reach a lot because, your analysis of things is very deep and it's easy for everybody to understand. So I think that would help you get more subscribers or more revenue from even a different channel.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. But thank you for taking my call. I'll continue to enjoy the show.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right.
All right. So shout out to my main man coming from Jamaica. Shout out to the international callers. I appreciate y'all for tuning in. I really, really do. And if you guys like what you're hearing so far, please give the video a thumbs up, like the video, share the video, do all that good stuff. That'll help me out tremendously. Let's keep on rocking here. 208, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is Tom, ABL. How are you tonight?
Oh, well, how about yourself?
I'm doing well, just getting over the strep. But, yeah, great show tonight. I noticed you were a little bit on the fence, too, about the DoorDash and the tips. The way I look at it is like this. I consider DoorDash or pizza delivery, Chinese takeout, whatever, a convenience, Don't want to cook, whatever. And so I always tip, but like you, I don't use DoorDash and Uber Eats. But if for delivery, I do tip. I try to tip them well, because I guess that's just an implied thing that's part of the job. It's a convenience for me and a job for them. So, that's just my thoughts on it. I thought that guy was a little overboard with trying to run in the door on that lady, but he certainly wouldn't have done that in my house.
Yeah, definitely not. Okay, like I understand this frustration, but now you do went a little bit above and beyond the Call of Duty by stepping into my house.
Yeah, yep. He could have handled that a little bit better and just said plainly, well, no tip. I'm sorry. You'll have to go pick your own up, and just left it, because like she said, I heard her say it on the video, I never tip anybody. So, well, there you go. But I think he's probably lost his job because of that.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And then these migrants, what they're calling migrants, let's call it what it is. It's an illegal invasion force that is able to get by with things that a born and bred United States citizen can never get away with because, they're migrants. You can't do anything. No, they're not migrants. They're illegal immigrant. They're illegal invasion force is what they are. And Biden's the one that's allowing them in here. And the thing about it is, here's what I'll say. Well, you told where I was calling from, so it's pretty obvious I'm in Idaho. So I'll say this. Antifa tried it. BLM tried it. So to the illegal invasion force that's got any thoughts of heading to the Pacific Northwest, keep your butts out of Idaho. You do not want to start that crap up here because it's in our state constitution. And it says plainly in our constitution, you come into town, you start breaking stuff, you start abusing people, police officers, it's every citizen's duty to intercede by any means necessary to stop it, and you shall not be held, shall not be held, I forget how it says it, but you can't be prosecuted for it.
Right.
So, I hate that the New Yorkers and, like that poor guy in Boston can't even get into his rec center there. I mean, but the thing about it is, like you said a minute ago, they know that they're losing the black vote. They got to have a backup plan. Now they're kicking the black communities to the side. And the sad thing about it is the black communities are the exact ones that voted these lame brains in.
Yep.
But now the black community's got them scared to death, I think. I think that black people are starting to wake up and say, you know, these idiots have promised us this, that, and the other, but I think that the Democrats have also realized what they're thinking, and this is their backup plan, is to control the caucuses, to control the census so they can do redistricting. So, but I hope we got one more push left in us into this year. I'm afraid if we don't get Trump in there, brother, this country is gone.
Yeah, it's definitely going to be tough for sure.
If we even have an election, you know, anything could happen this year. It's a tinderbox.
For sure.
But anyway, that's the way I wanted to weigh in. ABL, thanks for the broadcast, and good luck to you, my friend.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the call. Great call. Let's keep on going here. Let's go to 409. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL. This is Colin from Texas. I was calling today. I just wanted to get your opinion about something. It's just me being a tinfoil hat conspiracy theorist and all. But with the Taylor Swift AI-generated photos, to my knowledge, I haven't seen anyone actually get arrested for generating those photos. And I can't help but feel that there's something deeper going on there. I think, this is just me, I think the Biden administration, or someone who has a benefit in seeing the Biden administration remaining in power, actually generated those photos, circulated them to the public so that Joe Biden could then swoop in and be seen as basically a white knight protecting America's sweetheart. I just wanted to get your thoughts on that. I'll leave it at that and hang up, but that's just my thought. Thank you for everything you do, ABL.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you. All righty. So good question about the Taylor Swift AI images. Now, if you guys don't know what's going on with that, I'll be brief in PG-13. So basically, there's a bunch of AI-generated images featuring Taylor Swift that have her in some inappropriate situations, and I'll just leave it there. Some things that are not really for young eyes to see. Now, there's this whole big thing. It went all the way to Congress. They're talking about it. Let me see if I can find an article right quick. Congress, Taylor Swift. Like, they're trying to propose legislation. Yeah, so, hold on. So, here we go. This is on BBC now. So, again, these are just fake images of Taylor Swift. And now it said Taylor Swift deepfakes spark calls in Congress for new legislation. So that they're trying to create laws to go against this. Now, a lot of these pictures spread on Twitter, and they got so bad that you can't even search for her name on Twitter. Like, they blocked her name in the search. I'm not quite sure if that's still going on, but that happened. Now, what the caller was asking is, do you think this is something that was done by the Biden administration or by, you know, people that want to support the administration? So then they could propose legislation, put some in there, and then Biden can be seen as a guy that swooped in and saved the day. That's possible. That's definitely possible. But, I mean, it might not be. I think that trying to go as far as to create laws against it is kind of, that's kind of crazy. Because how do you really stop something like that? And then would that law only apply to Taylor Swift? Would it can't apply just to her. It's got to be about everybody. And then at what point do you say that parody is illegal? Now we're getting into freedom of speech. Is it freedom of speech? Is kind of a thing that's a murky territory. But to answer his question, I'm not really sure. It could be a thing that they did from the administration to push forward legislation to further reduce our freedoms on the internet, but I can't tell. If that was the case, I wouldn't be surprised. Put it to you that way. 973, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh my gosh. Good evening, ABL. How are you?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
Good. Can you hear me clearly?
I hear you well.
Beautiful, beautiful. I am so glad I got through. So, I've been wanting to talk to you about this from the other day. And I want to tell you, sir, that I am very, very concerned about Donald Trump.
Uh-oh.
I want to tell you that it almost gives me indigestion that a woman came out of the clear blue sky and claims that Donald Trump did something to her. Donald Trump tried to shut that lady's mouth, Carol, whoever her name is, try to shut her up by paying her $5 million, but apparently that's not enough. Now she came back to court because she wants to take Donald Trump to the cleaners. And ABL, let me tell you something. I am so sick of seeing this nonsense. You mean to tell me that a woman can come out 30 years later and declare that you sexually harassed a woman 30 years ago and get penalized for it? You mean to tell me that this woman, Carol, did not speak on the subject when the event supposedly happened? You decide to wait many years later, and this judge, this jury, has decided to award her $83 million. The justice system is corrupt. The justice system is messed up, and it is sickening. It is my prayer that this woman does not get a dime of Donald's money. It's unfair. It's unethical. If you ask me, ABL, there's no evidence. There's no evidence. So all of a sudden, hey, he has more money. Let me try to get some more money. $5 million is not enough. Let me get $80-something million. And the judge awards it to this woman. I tell you this, and then I'm finished. I tell you this. They are trying to stop this man in any way that they can. They are trying to stop Donald J. Trump in any way that they can. Because they know that if his behind gets back in that seat at the White House, he's going to do a locker clean out of everybody. So they know he cannot touch that seat again, ABL. And so they are trying their best to kill off this man before the month of November. But I tell you this, I'm a praying woman, and I am praying for him. I am praying for his family, because this is a serious, serious, serious time. And if no one voted, now is the time to get out there and vote more than ever before. And I am so grateful. So I've heard that there are more blacks, there are more African American people that are voting, that are vouching for Donald Trump. More African Americans are coming out and voting for that man. All I know is that somebody's in trouble. And I just pray. I don't know how it can happen. I heard that he's going to take it and appeal it so it can get to the Supreme Court. But I just pray that victory wins. That's my prayer, ABL.
I don't. Thank you for your call. Definitely appreciate you.
You have a good night.
Same to you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Great call. And shout out to you guys as well. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. 904 online. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, BL, how you doing, brother?
I'm doing well. About yourself?
I'm calling from Jacksonville, Florida, my friend.
All righty. What's going on?
And I just want to tell you one thing. I'm listening to you live on YouTube, listening to your last caller, and she sounds kind of nuts. But anyways, Jacksonville, Florida, we love you, man. We love what you do, and I hope you keep this up for as long as you can, brother.
Well, thank you for that. I appreciate you.
We love it, man. And I would love to talk about a whole bunch of crap, but that's all I got to talk about. Just you and just keeping it up and keeping the truth out there, man. Because, without the truth, we ain't got crap.
Right on.
All right, brother. Hey, ABL, we love you, man. In Jacksonville, Florida, you are the king of stuff. I'm telling you right now. Stuff in a good way. You know what I mean?
Right on.
I'm just trying to keep it PG, brother.
Right on, man. Thank you for your call. I appreciate you.
All right. Love you, man.
All right. Shout out to the caller. And let's be nice to the other callers, too. I appreciate that if you did that for me. Let's keep on rocking and rolling. We got a whole lot of calls on the line. Let's go to 859. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yo.
Hello?
Hey, yo. Sorry about that. I had to excuse myself out of the area. Hey, man. Yeah. I made that comment about the, me trying to, get ripped, trying to, get in shape and stuff like that. I went from like 288 when I was out of shape, and now I'm like 240, and I'm still a pretty big guy. I'm like 5'8", and I'm trying to get myself built. And you talked about in your live streams and some of your videos about fasting or like having a day without food at all. I'm kind of curious about that.
Yeah. So okay, now I gotta ask you a couple of questions. So how often do you eat today? Like on a regular basis, how often do you eat every day?
During me on my diet or like before?
Just regular every day. Like how often, how many times a day do you eat?
Usually when I first wake up, I go to the gym. I usually have steak or some protein in a protein shake with some boiled eggs. I go to work. I have a pre-made meal with vegetables, steamed vegetables, rice, chicken or steak, one of those two. And when I go into work, I have a chicken salad, and I mostly just drink water. And I've been trying to do this for the last, I would say, ever since December 1st.
So
I lost a lot of weight.
So the answer is 3 times a day?
Yes, sir.
You can cut that down to 2 times a day. Try doing that. Cut it down to 2 times a day. And then what I do is 1 time a day. I wouldn't advise going from 3 to 1 like I do, because it's kind of your body got to adjust to it. So I would say cut it down to twice and try to eat try not to eat at night. Try to eat do you work overnight? Like what time you go to bed?
3 o'clock in the morning. I work 2 jobs.
Yeah. So what time do you get up in the morning?
Around about 9 o'clock, and I usually at the gym around 9:30, and I have to be at work at 12 or 1, depending. I get an hour or an hour and a half workout in. I try to, or sometimes today I slept in a little bit longer.
Okay, so what I would do is skip breakfast and eat your lunch, and then eat something before you go to work. So try doing that for a while, because the foods you have before you go to work will still kind of be on your body once you get up in the morning. So you'll be able to be okay once you get to right around lunchtime. You can have something there, and then before you go to work, you should be okay. And always when you eat, try to wait at least 3 hours before you eat a meal. So if you eat something at 12, don't eat anything until at least 3 o'clock. I would say maybe even 5 or 6. So within the 6-hour window, you can have your meals and skip your breakfast, and you'll be good. And then get it down to 1 meal a day. And you can eat the same thing you normally eat on a regular meal, and you'll see your weight come off that way for sure. You kind of eating the right things, focus on your protein and whatnot, low carbohydrates, drinking your water, you'll be good to go.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I used to be I was pretty close to 300 before I started going on this diet and before I stopped drinking. Yeah, I was just empty calories, man. That was making me sluggish and not feel good. I'm in my 30s, and I'm more concerned about my health now, because all the other stuff, with my family history and stuff like that. Oh yeah, you did a story about Taylor Swift, about her might be supporting Biden. One time.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure I did that story. I don't really remember.
Yeah, I really don't take, celebrities' opinions in depth. She's a singer. She knows about singing. She's not GOP politics expert of all means. But hey, some of these young kids, man, they follow what the celebrities done, and I think it's going to happen back in 2016. You know how these celebrities were supporting Hillary Clinton. It's going to blow back in their face again, because it's kind of hard to be like, oh, Taylor Swift, but I'm broke. You know?
Yeah.
Hey, the economy's collapsing, and you know we have a guy who has old timers in control. So I mean, it doesn't take rocket science to see who's going to win this election. But I talk to you later, ABL. Thank you for taking my call, bro.
Thank you for the call, man. Appreciate you.
Libertarian out. Bye.
All right, shout out to the caller. But yeah, you know, with your diet, like I can, if I wanted to drop 5 pounds, I could do it immediately. So I know how to, like I got it. Like I've been as high as 285, close to 300. I think my biggest weight was 285. I'm 6'3". My biggest weight was 285. At that time, I had a 44-inch pant size, 44-inch waist with my pants. And then now I'm a 36-inch waist, 34-inch seam, and I'm about 215, 220. If I get too high, if I get too a little bit too beyond 220, I can drop down to 215 or even 210 if I want to. My lowest weight has been 180. So I can gain and lose. I know exactly how to do it. The main thing is what you're eating. People eat a lot of food and don't even realize it. And they also drink calories as well. You're drinking any kind of sugary beverage, anything with carbohydrates in it, any kind of alcohol, beer, wine, things of this nature, it's going to have calories in it. So you're drinking and eating, and you don't realize how much calories you put in your body. When you reduce your calories, you're going to see gradual changes. And if you really go hard and don't eat for like a week, you're going to see a big change. But I don't recommend that. I recommend just cutting down your caloric intake in the safe way. But I'm no doctor, so don't take what I say for medical advice. But let's keep on rocking and rolling. Let's get to 617. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 617. Hello. Hello. Going once. Going twice.
Hello?
Yes. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
All righty. Turn the stream down in the background for me, please. Turn your stream down for me in the background, please.
All right, let me turn it up. Hey, why you presented that? I know that you make money making videos. That's your marketing strategy. So, hello?
I'm listening. Go ahead, man. Come on. We don't got all night.
So why like the right wing TV stations or YouTubers presented these migrants, the ones that assaulted the police officer? I'm not defending them. I know they're wrong. They should be deported immediately. And I'm sure they want to be put into INS custody, and then they will be sent back to Venezuela. And after requesting asylum and allow them to be in this country, they're not supposed to do that. But there are apparently over 600,000 people from Venezuela that came and requested asylum, and they are here. Why not presented the ones that are working at the farms in Ohio? A lot of them working in farms where you live in Tennessee. A lot of them doing Uber, they're doing construction, doing whatever it takes to earn an honest living. Why show the 2%? Why is that? That's what it sells to your audience, or what is it?
So what's the question? Like, are you saying?
My question is why don't present those who are working, these 500,000 that they're working, or 600,000 that they're earning a living? Even that those who are in the shelters, they don't want to be in the shelters. They want to. They don't have no family here, and they're waiting for the documents so they could go and earn a living. Even they have to live five or six of them in a house. They will do that to earn it, to pay rent and don't rely on government. Why?
Okay. So the problem. Excuse me. The problem is that there's a migrant crisis. There's always been people that are here. Excuse me, sir. Man. Excuse me, sir. I let you talk for like 2 minutes without interrupting. Don't interrupt me, sir. Now the answer to your question. I'm gonna just answer the question, and you're not going to be heard. So I have you muted right now. Nobody can hear you. Now, the answer to your question is because there's a migrant crisis happening right now. There's always been these migrants, whether they be asylum seekers, whether they be straight up illegal aliens, whatever their status is, they've always been in the country over the past, 50 or so years, maybe even more than that, doing a lot of these low-paid jobs, right? Jobs that they don't want to pay Americans more for, like framing house $10 an hour, stuff like that. They always have been here. That's not really the problem. I'm talking about the crisis happening right now where they are just bogarting the border every single day, going through the razor wire, hopping the border, going through, cutting holes in it, doing things like this. That's the problem. There's a crisis. It ain't just about the migrants being here. That's not even the point. The point is the crisis level at which we are receiving the migrants, and we're getting all kind of stuff. You're getting those that, quote unquote, want to work, but you also getting those that want to engage in human trafficking. They want to engage in drug smuggling. They want to engage in the gun smuggling. They want to engage in straight up criminal activities the same way they were doing in New York City. And the cities are buckling under the pressure. They're talking about 170,000 of them have been processed in New York City over the past year and a half. So much so that they're having to cut city services by 5% all over the place, which was not happening before the crisis started. This is why we got to highlight what is happening as a result of the crisis. It's not even about necessarily migrants themselves. It's about how many of them are coming at a crisis level. Do you understand?
Okay, so that I'm on?
Yeah, so did you hear what I said? Do you understand?
So that's not what I asked you. That I asked you why you present the negativity.
Excuse me. You see, you're not listening. See, I'm saying there's a crisis going on. I ain't talking about the migrants themselves just being here, because they always been here. They were here before Joe Biden came in office. They were here under Obama, under Trump, under everybody. They were here. The problem is that right now, ever since Joe Biden came in, there's a crisis, and as a result of the crisis, there's a bunch of problems.
You want to answer the question?
But I mean, I've answered the question really well. I answered the question really well. There's nothing else I can really add to it. You're asking, why am I showing the violence? Why am I not showing the regular normies who have always been here? Why would I show people who have always been here doing the same things they've always been doing? That's not even the point. The point is the crisis level of the migration crisis. That's the issue. And with this crisis level, they're bringing a bunch of challenges. Before 2021, there was not an issue with New York City having to cut their budget to account for all these people. There was not a bunch of places where you couldn't just house people, putting them in airports. All this stuff is new. So I'm covering things that are happening that are new. Why would I talk about things that have been going on for a very long time? Migrants on the farm. That's not new. What is new is Logan Airport, Atlanta Hartsfield Jackson Airport, having migrants all in the concourse and secret rooms. What is new is New York City having to cut their services to account for the migrants. Come on, man. Like, you understand exactly what I'm saying. So why act ignorant like that?
No, you are the one who asked. You are the one who acting ignorance by saying that they come here to commit crimes when there's less than 1% of them committing crimes.
I didn't say that. Who said that?
Oh, okay. That's what you said. They come here committing crimes. You said that.
No. You saying two different things. First, you said that I said they came here to commit crime. Then you said that I said that they come in here committing crimes. It's not the same thing. See, you got a migrant crisis happening, and as a result of it, you got criminal aliens in that mix. They're not all criminal aliens, meaning coming over here to commit crime, but it is a crisis going on that involves all of them. That's two different things. We got to get our English. We got to get our English. You got to get our English language together, sir.
Those who come here with a green card don't commit crimes. Yes or no?
Say what?
Some of them that come here legally with a permanent green card commit crimes. Some of them commit crime. Yes or no?
I don't know. Possibly so. Sure.
You don't know?
I don't know.
You don't know? They do commit crimes.
Okay. So what's your point?
You decided you rather focus
No. The problem is the crisis level of. I've answered the question. You keep asking the same question in different ways. I've answered the question. So if you don't have anything else, I'll move on. Is all you got for me tonight? Is that it?
No, that's not what I got.
Okay, so what else you got? So what else?
No, but I got more. I got more.
Okay, what else?
Okay, I know that Biden screwed up because he's not being organized. I understand. It is a crisis. Now, do you know there is a bill right now in the Senate to stop all this all at one time and deport all these people that came after May 1st? Do you know that?
Now, I've heard about the bill, but I've not heard about, excuse me, I'm not done talking. You can't cut me off when I'm answering the question. I've heard about the bill, but I don't know exactly what is in the bill, because a lot of these bills, they'll say, oh, well, the bill is to solve this problem. Okay, now what's in the 10,000 pages aside from just the initial problem? What are the attachments linked to the bill? Do you know about anything else that's in the bill?
Okay, you know what the bill will do?
The question, excuse me. You answered the question. You answered the question. The question was, do you know what else is in the bill aside from the stated purpose?
Oh, the funding for Ukraine and the funding for Israel.
Okay, so why are we talking about Ukraine and Israel when the focus should be about the border? What's that got to do with it?
Well, this is what happens. The Republicans claim that they should not get no funding for Israel to Israel and Ukraine if they don't pass a strong border bill. The Democrats already voted on the bill. The Republicans don't want to. You know why they don't want to vote? Because Trump told them not to vote on it until the election. So they don't care about the border.
Okay, sure.
I mean,
sure.
You could tell those
the Biden administration are the ones that made the border be wide open, because under Trump the border was not wide open. Because under Trump the border was not wide open. Now all of a sudden under Biden the border is open, but you want to gaslight Republicans to say that it's their fault for the border being open. That doesn't make any sense. If they would have kept doing what Trump was doing before Biden came in there, then we would have no problem. But since they didn't, now there's a problem. But you want to say it's the other side's fault when the other side was the ones who had the border under control the whole time? This makes no sense, but I don't got all night, so have a nice day. Thank you for the call, sir. Let's keep on rocking and rolling here. Let's go to my next call. 949, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hello?
Yes.
Oh, hello. Okay, I wanted to answer your question about those dudes that beat up the cop and they're heading to California, and if we're going to extradite them. Well, no, what we're going to do is pay their lawyers to keep them from getting deported, and also we'll pay the lawyers to help them sue the government, and they can get free in-state tuition if they want. These are new things they just put on California starting in January. Can you believe that?
I can believe it, but at the same time, I'm having a hard time accepting it. It's really a crazy world.
I can't believe it. I just looked that up there's something called Reform California, and these are new things on the books. Plus, of course, the health care for all the illegals, which will cost between $5 and $7 billion a year. This is just unbelievable. But yes, we are going to pay their lawyer fees if they want to either, it said, sue the government or fight their deportation. So of course they're going to come here, and I hope the word doesn't get out, or they're all going to come here.
Yeah,
that's disgusting.
Yeah, it really is. Really unfortunate.
Yeah, and I also wanted to say how hilarious it is, you and the chirping. I love how much it bugs you. Yeah, anyway, also that Darien Gap thing. I was watching Brett Weinstein went down there and checked it out, and I guess it's real jungly, and people are dying trying to get through there and being robbed and everything. And he said he talked to a lot of the South American people coming through, and they all said that they're coming for economic freedom, but that's not a qualification for asylum. But it's not stopping anybody. And then he said they were real willing to talk to him. And then he said that the Chinese military age men coming through were very tight-lipped and didn't want to talk at all. And so he was figuring that maybe they are kind of being sent here to go into our military and, turn against us. Well, I guess that's a possibility, huh?
It's very possible. Absolutely.
Yeah, but that's what he was kind of figuring, because they don't want to talk about it, and So anyway, okay, that was all. I just wanted to put that out there. So good show tonight, and I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Yeah, that's crazy. You're getting all these criminal aliens a bunch of legal resources to be able to fight the government. That's totally just out of this world. All right, Skype caller, who am I speaking to?
Oh, hello?
Yes, indeed.
Oh, hey, Anthony. It's Danny. How's it going, mate?
Everything's going well, man. How about yourself?
Yeah, brilliant, mate. Great show tonight. Thanks again for taking my call. Yeah, I've got to jump on this, criminal alien topic, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with the terminology, though. We need to stop using, terms like, economic migrants and asylum seekers, majority of them aren't, man. Let's be real. They're criminal. They're criminal immigrants, and that's what it is, man. Like as soon as you step foot into another country illegally, you're breaking the law. You're a criminal, right or wrong?
That's right, from what I heard, from what I know.
So we can argue all day about these people, about the majority of these so-called asylum seekers are good workers, they're hard workers, they want to work on the farm all day, they want to do all this, they want to do all that. We all know that is nonsense. And as for that guy calling in not too long ago talking about, oh, it's only 1% of these so-called illegal immigrants who commit crimes, we all know that's nonsense. And even if that is true, ABL, so the country itself has already got massive crime rate in certain states. So if you've already got your own problems, but yet you also want to import an extra 1% of illegal citizens into the country as well.
Yeah, I mean, that just makes no sense. It's like you should be able to fix your problems first before you try to help other people and by importing them.
This is what I mean. So that whole thing about it's only 1%, even if it was 1%, it don't make no sense either, because they should be in the country anyway.
Right.
As soon as you can, look, if I had the keys to, to the castle and all that, and as soon as you enter the country, as soon as you step foot and you're illegal, you're getting deported straight away. I'll hand you a legal citizenship form. I'll give you all the right links to go onto all the right forms. We'll send you back and say, look, we have one process and one process only, and that's legal immigration. My grandparents did it from Spain back in the day. They come here legally. They're integrated into society. They worked hard. They paid their taxes. They bought the home. They started a family. You know what I mean? Like, how many people have done that over the world and actually contributed to the country they moved to? Tons have. And there is still such thing as legal immigration, right? Why doesn't the current, American administration keep promoting legal immigration? Legal. There is a process. Stop coming over the border and continue maybe the same policies that Trump was actually doing. Instead of going into office and on the first day, Biden and his team, they probably pulled up all of the executive orders, all the Trump policies, and they probably ripped them all up just because Trump did it. Even though from what we could all see it was working, but because Trump did it, they had to rip it up and do it their own way. And look what's happening now.
Exactly. 100% correct.
But I'm sorry about that. I'm a bit triggered tonight. Normally I'm a bit more, lighthearted. And as for that guy outside that rec center, my heart goes out to people like that. I mean, he's literally on the edge. Like, he's literally fighting every day on the edge. He's homeless. He's working 40 hours a week, and he still hasn't got enough money to pay rent or do whatever. And he's turning up to Rex, and I'm not too sure why. Maybe it was to use maybe a program there, because I don't know, to shower there. I'm not too sure. Do you know exactly why he turned up there, Bill?
I'm not sure, but the rec center has services for youth and adults. So I'm sure that it was something there because he's homeless. So maybe it was something there for him, but I'm not quite sure exactly what it is.
Yeah. So again, you're bringing in people who shouldn't be here in the first place. It's being paid for by the people, by taxpayers' money, and this guy is homeless. He's born and bred in America. He's working 40 hours a week, and you're not even going to let him in the building. The whole neighborhood should just storm that building. I'm not even joking. They should just storm that building, filling out all the beds, all the bunk beds, all the whatever illegal immigrant facilities they have, and then fling it all out and just take it over, man. At the end of the day, these people in government, they work for the people who pay their taxes, who pay their paycheck every week, or every month, whatever it is. They wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for them. And you're bringing in people who are not even citizens. This is like outrageous, man.
It really is. Absolutely.
Honestly, mate, and sorry, I'll be really quick, but I don't know if you heard of an incident that happened here yesterday with an asylum seeker, so-called asylum seeker.
It was where now?
It happened here in South London yesterday. I'll be really quick. It was an asylum seeker. He moved here a few years ago in 2016. He came here illegally. He committed sexual assault. He got tried for it. Evidence was there. He admitted to it. He didn't go to jail. He had 2 asylum seeker application forms denied. He still was allowed to stay here though, and get everything paid for him as all the others. And then he went to a Christian church. A priest took him under his wing, said he's now a Christian. He helped him do his 3rd asylum seeker forms, got him accepted. The priest helped him get accepted because, he's a changed man. He's a Christian and all that. And then yesterday, the man in South London threw acid over a woman's face and her 2 kids, her 2 young daughters, maimed them for life.
Wow. Crazy.
And now he's on the run. He was literally seen yesterday 15 minutes away from where I live in a supermarket, and he's got his eye all burnt out as well because the acid's gone in his face. And now, because of people like the priest and because of people like in our government, the blood is on their hands now. So the people who are maimed, people who are attacked, people whose lives are ruined now forever, the blood is on the priest's hands and it's on people in the government's hands, because we're letting people like this into the country who shouldn't have been here in the first place. You know what I mean? You come here legally and that is it.
Right.
Like, personally, look, I'm not going to say it, but I think you'll gather from what I'm about to say. These people shouldn't get deported. Something else should happen. They shouldn't go to jail for life. Something else should happen to them, if you catch my drift. They shouldn't, you know what I mean? We should catch them and deal with them, and that is it. And you need to send the message to the world that if you come in and do this, then we're not going to deport you. We're not going to send you to jail. We're going to give you the third option. I think we all know what that is.
Yeah, definitely. That's probably, that might be the best option sometimes.
Yeah, I know it's a controversial take. People say, "Oh, no, that's too far." Well, look what the guys did. Look what he's done. Now that deserves extreme punishment, man, and it is what it is.
Absolutely.
Well, thanks again, ABL. Sorry I took too long today. Yeah, thanks again for the call, mate. Shout out to the chat and take care, mate. Have a good one.
Thanks for the call, man. Appreciate you.
All right, take care, mate. See ya. Bye.
All right, great call. You know, I felt him. I felt the fire. 773, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
ABL, a retired Chicago police officer friend. Thanks for squeezing my call in, ABL. You know, wanted to mention about those illegals that attacked that officer, the police officers. Here's the thing, ABL. When you attack in this country, when you attack the police, that is automatically a felony. It's supposed to be. But in all my years, ABL, police have been attacked all the time. We fight. People don't want to be arrested and everything else. People attack the police, fight the police, punch the police. And this is what they always do. They never make it a felony. They never make it a felony, ABL, unless you are grievously harmed and have been sent to the hospital and been admitted into the hospital. Because I've seen guys, you know, twist their, you know, when they're trying to cuff somebody, they hurt, you know, break a finger, twist their wrist, you know, scrape their elbows, scrape their knees, trying to, you know, arrest somebody. They're being fought, and they never make it a felony, ABL. They always just downgrade it to a regular misdemeanor. And you saw what they do with this no bail misdemeanor, where they just let people out immediately. And here's the thing. When you attack a police officer, the reason it should always be a felony is because that person is saying, I have no respect for your laws. As a matter of fact, that uniform means nothing to me. See, the weight of the uniform is it represents law and order in this country. That's why police demand to be, you know, listened to. They demand, you know, that you do what we say. You sue me later if I'm wrong. If I arrested you wrongly, sue me later. But what they do is they let these people out immediately. It means nothing. You saw they gave a big FU with their fingers. They don't care. And the country doesn't. And obviously some of the people in the country do care. But these cities, they don't care. They don't want law and order. Remember what they want. What they want is they want a path to citizenship. This is why with those bills, why, you know, they love to put other things in a legislative bill, because, oh wait, money to the Ukraine. Well, I'm not for that. Well, then you're not for securing the border, because that's also on the bill. They put things together and to pass other things. I don't want to give any more money to the Ukraine, but that doesn't mean I don't want a secure border. I mean, they're just, you know, we need to secure our border. These people are here unfettered. We don't know who has come. You know, Ivan or, you know, whoever it is, you know, they like to point to the people that came here for a better life and they're hardworking. Yeah, there's those people in there, but millions have come, criminals, murderers, God knows who, child molesters. You know, the next Elon Musk may have come across too. It doesn't really matter. We need to secure our borders. We can't have this. We can't bear this financially or economically. We just can't. We have to do something about it. I can't believe that this administration has not been impeached for treason, all the things that he's done. It's ridiculous, but that's the state of our nation right now. State of our nation is that it's being overtaken. The left and the communists and whatever you want to call them, these radical left people have just allowed our country to be invaded. And God forbid the problems that this is going to, that's going to occur from doing this. This is going to have consequences for years to come. Anyway, ABL, that's my 2 cents, and thanks for taking my call. I'll talk to you later.
Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right, so there we have it. Fantastic calls all throughout the night, and we're at the end. I feel like I just sat down and it's already over. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best audience anywhere on these internets. I'll be back live again on Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat place, 8 p.m. Eastern to right around right now, 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And you guys are the best audience anywhere on these interwebs. Shout out to everybody for watching, retweeting, super chatting. Could not do the show without you. Shout out to the mods keeping the trolls in check. I really appreciate y'all. This is also an audio streaming podcast. If you didn't know, it'll be available on your favorite audio streaming platform, whether that be Google Play, Apple iTunes, Spotify, etc. Link for that will be in the description box, or just go to your favorite audio streaming platform and search ABL Live. I should pop right on up. Now, we got a few super chats on deck, if I'm not mistaken, and then we'll wrap it on up, put the bowl clean on top. Let's go ahead and get through some of these here. Shout out to Zero Campbell. I think I read that one about Lahaina. That was crazy. Thank you to Ryan Walker, who says, I'm going to have I got to make West Virginia hot dog. Hey, you got to go to West Virginia, get you a hot dog. You can go to Charleston. That's fine. I wouldn't suggest going off in the hollers. That's a little bit too advanced. Just go downtown Charleston. You find something. Thank you to Spencer T, who says, flex the Spanglish. I'm not quite ready for that one. Thank you to Rockvolution 2, who says Democrats will weaponize artificial intelligence vans against us. Thank you to Bobcat MIT, who says, tell Ivan the bill also allows $5,000 per day. Oh, no, pardon me. Let me just rephrase this. Tell Ivan that the bill also allows 5,000 migrants per day. That will allow 1.8 million each year. Who is going to pay for that? U.S. taxpayers is who. Exactly. You know, when I heard that 5,000 thing, I was like, 5,000? It didn't say, they didn't give the caveat of per day or per anything. All they said was it still allows 5,000 in. I'm like, okay, but like 5,000 total? That doesn't sound right. 5,000 migrants per day, which is 1.8 million. 1.8 million per year. That's crazy. Rockvolution 2 says AI stands for, Asylum Ivan. Where's the merch, ABL? I'm not giving that man no merch on my website. We're not doing that at all. Thank you to Nico Cass, who says, my son has to pay $16,000 for a misdiagnosed injury while serving his country in Afghanistan. An illegal migrant, illegal immigrant, criminal alien can receive an elective sex change at our expense. How can this happen? You know what? It makes no sense, but that is kind of the state of our nation right now. Things that should make sense, common sense, is just not here. We pretty much do whatever that the administration wants to do with no rhyme or reason for it. Okay? But that's pretty much all I got. Shout out to you guys for being here. You guys are the best. But until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.